Chat mode activated.
Yes,
Fair
you get
moment.
muted, bitch.
All right, so as a hopefully brief recap of what happened during our last session, we picked up right in the central kind of cavern where the Grell, the giant fucked up tentacle brain monster had picked up Fenris. You guys ended up fighting it off and delved deeper into the cavern after harassing some of the kobolds who had taken up residence inside. At the time, not knowing their whole intentions. But after going deeper in, you ended up coming across Trex, who you later found out had been possessed by a ghost of some kind. You never learned the specific details of the ghost, but after the ghost possessed Carl's axe for a brief moment, its kind of soul was sucked up into Fenris's blade. You also discovered as Noro, your companion of this whole few days, has some sort of strange secret going on with him. After he was possessed, his body changed and formed into something that wasn't recognizable for a brief moment. And afterwards, after this battle, you're all kind of left down in this deep cavern, sort of sitting with your thoughts, as is. You've decided that you would try to bring the kobolds back up to the surface and talk to this town speaker Oris to see if they can strike a deal where the kobolds will work for the town and be kept here safe from shelter. But we'll return right back as we're standing in that cave right after this battle.
So I imagine Nora's just laying in the dirt, kind of like his shirt is still kind of stained with what's left from the blood that sprayed out after Fenris cut his chest open, and he's just kind of staring up at the ceiling. He hasn't said anything for a while.
Do you believe I left off with Fenris turning to Noro and staring at him real long and hard?
We're gonna kiss.
he's looking at him with the.
Oh yeah. His expression is rather inscrutable.
Trex
Noro
will
kind of after a bit, he kind of oh, what are you gonna say?
Go. Oh no, I was gonna mention that the kobolds still kind of are standing there, and then Trex will chime in with was that ghost?
It was something. Carl will pat him on the back, kind of trying to be loving, but maybe push him forward a little bit and be like, "Listen, we're safe now, though. We've always got it."
Yeah, the kobold will kind of look up with sort of a little bit comforted, but also a little terrified that just with a single pat he was almost pushed completely on his ass onto the ground.
Carl flashes him with fucking fang smile, big bear teeth.
Oh yeah.
Noro, after a bit, he kind of huffs, and then he just leans up from his laying position, hand kind of on his chest. He's like, "Well, I suppose I do owe you an explanation. All of you."
Yes, I think so.
It is useful to know what species my clients are when I treat them.
Well, to start off, I am, obviously not a half-elf. Well, that's not exactly. He puts his hand to his chin a little bit. You notice strangely enough, he's he seems a lot less tense than he was before. You always notice that Noro had a degree of sort of close, he keeps a lot of emotions to his chest. His face is a lot more emotive now than it was before. Well, I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, but I am not a regular half elf. I am
Very
a
one.
Wait, say that again. You cut out.
No, you ate one.
No, that is not the situation. I did not eat a half elf. That is not how it works.
I did not eat her.
I did not.
Look, okay, I take on the appearance of people that I see. I do not need to actually eat people to do that sort of thing. For example, like as he says that, he kind of like clenches his hands for a sec, and the sort of same kind of vein like appearance kind of grows over his hands, but instead of it shifting to that dark green it was before, he sort of kind of seems to grow paler and paler and grows taller, and all of a sudden standing in a sort of more tight shirt than it was before because it's stretched out to accommodate is practically an identical replica of Fenris.
It's not
Holy
as pretty.
shit.
You could work on a few things, Nora.
Well, it takes a while for me to properly, well, mimic someone. It takes a while.
Carson, what does my sword think of the impression?
That's a very it's a very good question. I think she's definitely off put for a moment, but a little bit a little distracted maybe.
Especially considering the fact that Noro is stretching out a very tight shirt now because it's much smaller than Fenris.
Wow.
Does he like have his arms and stuff exposed?
Yes. Remember he took off his hoodie. It's like wrapped around his shirt.
Fenris looks at the arms and like sort of scoffs. Cheap copy.
Oh wait, are there like scars that
the copy would only, or you would only know what you've seen of this person. So the arms are just kind of
like the arms are bare.
Yeah.
Probably. There's nothing there.
Mm-hmm.
Noro kind of there's like a small puff of smoke and Noro like shrinks back down to himself.
Oh yeah.
Fenris is definitely just kind of like looking at everyone in the party for a second.
Yeah, Carl's probably just staring at Nora, and he's like, "Well, what are you underneath that?"
Well, I mean, this is me. I've been this person for years now. I don't take on my natural form like I used to. I have no need for it.
No need. Is this one better? And he like looks at your like arms that are 10 times smaller than him and kind of like lifts one up.
Not exactly. It's a sentimental thing.
Very interesting.
Is your name Noro, or is that the name of this form?
Noro is the name that I am given, and it is the one that I will honor.
Sounds positive enough to me.
I'm so confused.
I will explain in time. He stands up and kind of brushes himself off. I know this is a lot to absorb all at once, but understand this. I do not mean harm to any of you. Not at all.
As long as you're not a threat.
Fenris doesn't have much to add. He's just sort of looking at everyone.
I apologize for misleading you, but my people do not exactly... Well, if I appeared to you the way I am naturally, you would have killed me on this spot.
Yeah, I would have been a bit scared of you.
Probably. Well, no, probably.
Yeah, that guy would.
Noro like audibly kind of chuckles at that. Yeah, well, I can certainly see the results of that. I'm going to need a new shirt.
Yeah, there is still that visible lard, cut down through his shirt.
Noro kind of looks at Fenris. Is like, I do appreciate you being swift with it.
Well, it took me by surprise a little bit.
Well, thank you for not killing me outright, at least.
Fenris gives like a very like unnerving little smile and says, "You're welcome." Definitely not an expression you would have seen on his face before.
Noro kind of like walks over to the middle of the room, and he kind of like crouches down at the bag. Mind you, he's left his weapon over where he had been laying down, or like he kind of dropped his weapon after he had been, pushed out of his body, and Fenris had to like cut open the thing. He kind of like picks up the spear, and he just sort of holds it. He's like, "So, now that is out of the way, where are we going now?"
Can I just take a look around this room real quick with a perception check?
Sure.
Anyone else can do like whatever. I just want to.
Yeah, so right now you're kind of in that very last section of the mine. You're sort of in a long corridor with sort of other small sort of offshoots out to the side, none that go more than like 4 or 5 feet. It seemed just like a tunnel that they had been mining through. No exposed gems in this room, but you still see Trex along with 2 of his kind of bodyguards, and then the other kobold that had ran away from you earlier, kind of hiding behind them. They all seem a little anxious to get out of here at the moment, still standing nearby with them. But otherwise, just kind of a dark small room or small corridor.
Yeah. Well, if Fenris is looking around, Carl will probably just like with that out of the way, I think we should just probably find a more comfortable spot to rest and maybe get this guy back to Horus? Is that the town speaker?
Yeah, Horus Nar, half orc guy.
Awesome.
Noro kind of like preemptively slips his jacket over himself, despite how hot it is down there.
Yeah, you guys, eventually kind of make your way up to the mouth of the cave. As you exit, you kind of see that same little spot where Horus was before, and he'll kind of stand up and once again kind of put down his hood and sort of say, "Oh well, seems like," and as he notices you being trailed with three kobolds, he'll definitely stand back for a moment, a little more worried as he
for God's sake, man, it's 2 feet tall.
Well, look, I mean, I see that there's like 4 or so with you, but they scared off all our miners. I imagine they would be a little more, as he kind of relaxes, a little more scary.
Noro kind of like nudges forward. What's his name again?
Horus.
Like the one that can speak.
Oh, Trex.
Can I preemptively like stop him from doing that and go, "He barely speaks common"?
Well, oh yeah, that's good point.
Oh, you said you were going to talk, didn't you?
I'm sorry, huh?
Carl, you said you were going to talk, didn't you?
I'm happy to. Listen, so as much as we wanted to complete the job, we ran into these guys and this little guy, and he kind of gestures towards Trex, and he's like, and they just need a place to stay, man. I've noticed all these empty houses in here. I know you've got a place where they can be. I figure we can solve the situation in a peaceful way as opposed to fully expelling them.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Oh, Carl does not have good persuasion.
Easy.
You talk to him, says the bard to the barbarian.
Yeah, what the fuck? I got a 10.
The Horus will look a little hesitantly, but eventually he'll sort of slump his shoulders and be like, "Well, I certainly I was expecting them to be a lot bigger. I suppose we might be able to accommodate them, take them in. I mean, as far as I heard, none of them actually hurt anybody down there. They just kind of scared them off." He'll kind of look.
Noro kind of glances over. glances over at Archie for a second before turning back.
They do dig tunnels for dragons, naturally.
Those are exactly my thoughts. I imagine maybe we can put them back to work down in the mines alongside the miners, and maybe we can figure out some sort of housing. Maybe in the inn nearby, we can spare a few rooms for them.
I'm happy to hear that. And he like fucking patch treks on the back again.
There you go. There you go.
I think this time he
And
actually
what you
knocks him over.
break one of the wings, like one of the shitty little like stick wings he has on his back.
Oh no!
Oh no, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll get a new one for you, kid. I will. I promise.
Yippee.
He broke one of his wings.
Yeah. Well, then Oris will kind of, he'll mention, well, I of course need to go down and inspect the mines, make sure everything's back in order before I bring in all the miners back and get you your payment. But in the meantime,
there's a dead grell and a mind flayer skull in there. I don't know what sort of cave system your mine leads to, but
yeah, that
yeah. You might have drow coming up here any other day now.
Well, you kind of step back around. It would make sense if that pit led somewhere.
Oh, it leads somewhere.
You really don't want drow to come up that hole.
If you're having trouble with kobolds, I recommend you seal up that hole as quick as possible.
Austin, I'm okay. It is established Fenris is a bit of a Drizzt fanboy, a little bit, right? Okay, so I would know that there is a drow thing to do in this region. Like there's a drow city in this region, correct?
That's a good question. I mean, I don't know if there's one like directly below Icewind Dale or not.
I mean,
it's reasonable to assume
I
that
know
the regions of the Underdark are probably inhabited by drow, but I don't know of any specific settlement.
I'm not like 100% certain on this. I'm pretty certain Menzo Baranzan, which is like the drow city, is underneath Icewind Dale.
Let me check out some stuff.
Just imagining like Fenris pulling out a book and he's like checking his lore.
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, it's in the upper quote unquote upper North Dark, so I can put two and together and figure it's probably there.
You are right above Menzo Baranzan.
I don't think he knows what that is.
It's pretty famous. It's not like something that's super obscure.
I'm sorry, I was reading a thing. What did you say?
No, I was just saying it's not like a super obscure piece of information.
Or I mean, like before that, like what did Fenris say?
Oh, he just said that like this region is right above Menzo Baranzan, and that's like the biggest drow city.
Well, we'll certainly try to. We've made many attempts to cover over the pit, but none of them quite seem to work. We do have other mining colonies out here. Maybe we can divert a little more attention to those rather than this. But for now, that we'll leave that to the council speakers, and I'll definitely bring this up to discuss with them, and see if we can prevent any further issues.
Well, now you have a couple of extra hands, claws.
Mm-hmm.
He'll have kind of just a big fucking like grin as he kind of walks over to the kobolds and sort of like pats them on the shoulder and does the equivalent of like wrapping his arms around their shoulders as they like kind of head off walking towards the town. He's a little bit ahead, but you can hear him chattering and speaking to the kobolds who are a little clueless because they don't really fucking understand half the things he's saying. But you guys are not very.
Somebody who speaks Draconic.
Yeah, you guys are maybe like a 30-minute walk back from town. But yeah, you do remember once you cleared that out. Good old Dodok Battlehammer, promised to fit you with your reward from clearing out the mine, as well as Oris, who promises to come back at nighttime towards the local inn to give you guys your reward once he kind of verifies that the mine is cleared.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna all chill at the inn, I imagine.
It's about noon
Then
right
I
now.
suppose, like middle of the
Do you
day.
guys want to go to the inn, or do you want to like head to like Lonelywood?
It's noon. Like, what is that? What do you mean by noon? Is
It's
it
about
like
midday.
afternoon? Is it like
Midday,
midday?
like
Okay.
exactly, yeah, more or less.
Lonelywood is like a whole other like town over. I think we should just see what's going on here.
Yeah, especially if we're getting paid like later in the night. I'd like to be here to get paid.
That's a good
Personally.
point.
True.
To find that wizard. He said he was going to be at the inn, didn't he?
Yes, I believe so.
The
Let's hope he hasn't died from his injuries.
as you
Says half dead.
as you
No, I patched him up at the end of the last session.
yeah, he should be good.
Oh,
He's
yeah, you
stable.
did.
He'll still
You did
pass
12
out.
points of damage.
HP.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I healed 12 points of HP.
You are so good.
Noro like
the law of
kind of
equivalent exchange.
preemptively, he's just he kind of shivers a little bit. He's like, oh, I might actually need that new shirt faster than usual. I'll meet you at the inn later. I'm going to go get a new shirt.
Yeah, as you guys kind of head back into Tourmaline, you can sort of split off. There's plenty of different little like kind of shops and different places to go to. But as before you split off, as you guys are entering town, you'll see Dodoc there, kind of sitting at the edge of town, smoking on his pipe once again, blowing sort of like little rings of smoke and different sort of just making various kind of shapes through the smoke as he kind of notices you and stumbles to his feet.
Up.
And he'll kind of I see you. I see you've returned from the mine. I saw Oris walking here earlier with some kobolds. Certainly, not quite what I was expecting.
It's a happy ending.
There are a lot of things down there that we weren't expecting.
Yeah, kobolds are quite eccentric, but I suppose if everything ended friendly, then there was no issues. And he'll kind of like perk his head a little bit, then kind of reach into his back pocket, and he'll pull out kind of a small leather pouch with some sort of, it's kind of coated in white fur. And as he opens up, he's I called in my people and they were able to return the shipment back to Bryn Shander, and as promised, here is your reward. And he kind of lifts out a single small gem from this pouch. And he'll go ahead and hand each of you these kind of various colored gems. Most of them are kind of like pinkish and greenish. Some of them blue, some of them red. But each of them, kind of a hefty size, like almost fitting like a good size like part of your palm. And he'll mention each of those should be able to fetch you about 50 gold pieces each. If whoever you're selling it to is being honest with you. Glad to do work with you folk, and you have the good word of the Battlehammer dwarves. If you're ever anywhere near the Dwarven Valley east of here, know that we'll be happy to take you in for a few days.
Did I ask this guy about Melthorond, by the way?
I don't believe. I think actually, yeah. When you first got here, you did mention the name Melthorond to him, but he didn't recognize it.
Okay. Fenris nods and he sort of like is weighing the stone in his hand, and yeah, he sort of just like chucks it into his
He had to
like,
stand on his
looks it
tippy toes
over.
to reach Carl's hand.
To reach Fenrir. Oh, Nero kind of like looks at it like he doesn't really. He's a hunter. He's not a miner. He doesn't exactly know the value of gemstones. But then he shrugs. He's like, I guess it's valuable. And he just puts it into his bag.
Lovely. Bada bing, bada boom. Yeah, so now you guys are kind of left in Tourmaline. It's still midday, a little bit after kind of afternoon by this point once you get back here. there are different shops if you want to kind of spend your newfound coin on anything, but otherwise, you heard that Oris, would be returning to the inn with your reward once everything was checked out.
Gotcha. So
I
I'm
would-
at 60 now. 60 gold pieces. That's fun.
I would like to, sell the gemstone and buy some stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Same here.
We all sell the gemstones.
Dodok would be able to point you kind of to a nearby little shop that kind of has sort of general goods, general sort of supplies. Maybe nothing super specific, but a small
the
shop where you should be
idea
able
of,
to
like,
pawn off the
all-
gem.
I love the idea of all 5 of them like walking up to the counter and just slapping their gemstones on the table.
Take my magic fucking jewels. Yeah, but yeah, you're able to go to the small little shop, run by another kind of small dwarven man who has kind of giant or very small spectacles kind of on his face. You hand him the gems, he does this whole fucking deal with, he has kind of a small kind of metallic, almost microscope looking machine that he'll sort of inspect each gem with and figure mention that these gems are actually from the mines here in Tourmaline. Understanding their worth.
So much more of
He understands their worth, and sell them for give you each 50 golden pieces for them.
Wait, doesn't Fenris have a gemstone of his own?
He
Like
certainly
another one.
does.
I do. Is it
No-
worth
Nora kinda,
anything? Is it worth anything different?
Yeah.
If you were to hand it over to the guy, he can probably tell you.
Yeah, no, he would.
Yeah, so as
Just
the
get it looked at.
you kind of hand him this it's a pretty hefty chunk, fills almost your whole hand, maybe like a size of a tennis ball. It's still kind of covered in various bits of rock and large chunks. But the kind of older dwarven man will sort of kind of chip through it. And after it kind of reveals an uncut but large, stone of tourmaline, just a deep dark pink and with green colors kind of sparkled throughout. And he'll sort of step back and say, I'd be willing to take this off your hands for maybe 85 gold.
Jesus Christ, that's more than we were paid for.
Oh. 85. Does the stone seem special in any way? Or does it just seem like a tourmaline?
It seems just like a decently large tourmaline.
Yeah, Fenris will nod his head and say, sounds like a fair price.
Lovely. So he'll kind of he'll shake hands. He'll kind of shuffle to the back of his room and bring out a kind of a separate coin perch which contains 85 gold, and he'll slide it over to you.
Fenris will nod and he'll tuck away his that's fucking 125.
This old dwarven man with very wispy white hair, mostly balding, will kind of give a big smile and reveal some of his teeth have been replaced with jewels themselves that kind of give a little sparkle. But yeah, 85 gold for that.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, I'll take it.
Lovely.
Oh no, that's 135. I'm seeing.
Zam.
Fenris is rolling in it now.
Sheesh.
Noro kind of taps the counter and he's just excuse me, do you have a good quality spear here?
The dwarven man will kind of perk his head up and he'll shuffle again into the back of the room, and he'll come out with kind of a spear. It's a little longer than yours, maybe made out of kind of pine wood. The head of the spear is made with a pretty crudely made iron spearhead, and he'll say, this beauty was brought in by another hunter around these parts. It's seen its fair days, but it's got character. He'll kind of put he'll slam it down on the desk, and you'll see a splinter come off of the main shaft of it.
Nora's just how about a good spear shaft? Just the shaft.
He'll kind of stroke his beard and kind of go into the back. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Gotcha. I forgot to have my dice rollers. Let's see. That is a 18.
Lovely, yeah. You kind of peek your head to the side and sort of look through the doorway into the back, and you'll see him pull out what looks to be a mop and hastily kind of like unwrap the kind of cloth at the bottom, and then he'll come back out with it's a pretty honestly neatly kind of carved along wooden shaft. It seems about the right size, right shape. Although it was originally from a mop, it should fit your purpose should you want to buy it.
Nora kind of like leans forward a little bit. It's like, so this is your best quality spear shaft, yes?
I call it the old 5 silver.
You know, 5 silver.
You certainly wouldn't be lying to me, would you?
I mean, it's a wooden stick. It's exactly what you asked for. It should fit. should work perfectly fine as a spear. Spear.
Nora just kind of waves him off. He's just like, 2 silver.
Make a persuasion check.
That is a 24.
God damn, he'll this innkeeper sees kind of an intensity in your eye. He recognizes, you have the spirit of a real haggler about you, and he'll kind of let out like a deep sigh and say, "Deal." He'll hand over the spear, hand over 2 silver.
Nora flicks them onto the counter and like gives the spear shaft a bit of a flourish, that of a seasoned hunter. It's like, pleasure doing business with you, Mr. Shopkeeper.
Nora, art of the deal. Gives another kind of toothy grin as he hops down from his stool and shuffles back into the back of the store.
Gwyn,
Yes?
would you mind if I saw that compass again?
Of course not. And I'll give it to him.
Okay. As I touch the compass, I would like to dig into it with some sort a magical sense and cast Identify.
Lovely.
Yes.
Oh, somebody learned Identify last session.
Level up, baby.
I like to imagine it's sort of like almost like using the sword to like pull off a little part of the magic and like tell what it is. Like he like brings the blade up to his hand and he like runs it close to the object.
Lovely.
Nice.
So I will go ahead and send into in-game info what you're able to scrounge up.
Yes.
So the moral compass.
Yes.
You're able to kind of scrounge from what you can tell that this compass was created by a noble paladin of Lathander who wanted to continue his good work after he died. He has succeeded, creating a very opinionated compass that will point towards any evil, big or small. Without attunement, moral functions as a simple moral compass, pointing good aligned creatures towards the greatest evils it can sense and urge them to vanquish them. It also can impart whatever knowledge it knows through its kind of more like emotion sense nonverbal communication, such as nearby landmarks or where north is, anything that it may have knew during that paladin's life. In the hands of neutral aligned characters, the compass will feel uncomfortable to the touch, and in the hands of evil aligned characters, the holder receives 1d4 fire damage for every round they hold it. While attuned to this, you gain proficiency in religion checks and may cast Detect Evil and Good once a day using the compass.
Oh.
Very cool.
A paladin's compass. Yeah, he flicks it back towards Gwyn.
The
Gwyn
compass will kind of like spring back to life once it hits Gwyn's hand.
No wonder it doesn't like me.
Seems it also doesn't like me either.
Nor I.
I can hardly imagine why you're perfectly normal.
Nora looks at him. He's just like, whatever.
Can I hand it to Carl to like just test?
Sure.
Yeah.
As you,
Carl know if it would like him.
As you
Give it to the fucking golden retriever bear.
as you as you hand it over to the polar bear, he's kind of Carl is a little bit hesitant as it lands in his hand. It still is perfectly kind of awake and as it was before, and it'll kind of the needle will sort of like point towards Carl for a moment as if it was thinking, And Carl, you'll kind of feel the motions of kind of positivity and sort of comfortability once it's in your hand coming from it, and it'll kind of return to its normal sort of just kind of idle spinning around needle hand.
Yeah, Carl would kind of probably just pet it a little bit and say, "It's my friend."
There you go. There you go.
But
Fenris
pretty
looks
quickly we'll
towards his sheathed sword and says, "Do you hear that, love? You're a great evil."
I mean, it said any evil, big or small, so you know.
It's, the
Oh,
sword.
she's definitely not a small one.
Yeah, I'm like Moral is definitely freaking out every time it pointed to the sword. So
Nora kind of like narrows his eyes, kind of looking at his hand. He's like, "Wait, so what does that think mean?"
It's just an evil. It's just a
Doppelganger.
soul-eating sword. It's not evil. Trust.
yeah, it's not evil. It just devours the souls of the damned and the slain.
It's better than being in hell,
Crazy.
which is where most of them are going.
Jesus.
Yeah, to be eternally hunted by the
Is-
king of the wild hunt.
Oh, hey, listen, don't worry about it. You don't worry about what my king does, okay? Listen.
I don't know. I'm just saying that still kind of sounds like hell. I'm just saying.
Is the fucking drow and the wizard, are they here in the inn?
So right now you guys are just in that little like shop or whatever. But if you were to go to the inn, you wouldn't see
Oh,
them.
I thought you called him an innkeeper. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. No. Yeah, he was just kind of the shopkeeper that Dodok kind of pointed you towards to pawn off the gems. But if you guys were to return to the inn, you wouldn't see anybody else in that main hall except that the girl who's kind of running it.
Okay, well, I mean, if we're not doing anything else, I suppose we should just head over to the inn salon.
Yeah. If nobody else has anything they need to do, we can head over to the inn. By now it's still kind of mid-afternoon, but you can kind of tuck in for an early night if you wanted.
I just want to add, like, as we're walking there, like, I'll see what's going on with that axe and that shard that we found tomorrow.
That's what
Nora also
He kind of like wiggles his fingers and like just like little purple sparks come out. He's like, I'm a little bit tired today. I don't have any spells left.
Oh god.
Right.
I
Nora
think
kind of like looks over his mop handle and he says something in Elven close to what Fenris understands as 2 silver for a fucking mop handle, cheap bastard.
Gwyn and Archie both understand that bit.
if /when Carl returns the compass, Gwyn would give a smile of camaraderie towards him.
Yeah.
Aw.
Good aligned people.
Good alignment.
He places it quite firmly in her hand.
Awful neutral, I swear.
Aw.
Oh.
Guys, I'm true neutral. You can trust me.
God.
The doctor also being lawful neutral and getting the
Taking a cold
reactions,
goddamn shoulder.
the bloodthirsty.
Look, man, paladins are very strong-willed people. They don't like indecisiveness. They don't like neutrality.
They're morally racist.
They're opinionated. Yeah, but
When,
Go on.
No, go on. I was just gonna say when we get into the inn, I wanted to take a look around if the drow or the wizard was there.
As you kind of enter the inn, sort of the entrance room is a lot smaller than most inns. There's like a table or two, but it doesn't quite seem to have like a full bar like most of them do. But the young woman stands there and kind of greets you guys as you walk in and asks if you want to need the rooms for another night.
Carl will slap is 1 gold. He'll slap a gold coin.
Oh, sorry, what was that last bit?
She just asked if you guys need another room for the night again.
Would be appreciated.
Sure. Well,
I'll pay for it.
I'll flick a gold towards her.
Gwyn.
We can split it.
You sure?
Yeah, yes.
All right then. We'll split it then.
5,000 charisma. Let's go.
Noro kind of like busts out the koto like he did before. Starts playing Bannered Mare on it.
Yeah.
Fenris
guitar
Fenris
for a
raises his
reason.
eyebrow at Archie and Gwyn for a second.
Yes.
Yeah, if you guys can kind of return to your rooms for the end of the day, sort of rest after a long day of like 3 separate battles. As you're
before we like tuck in and stuff, I would just like to. Is the drow and the wizard there?
oh yeah, no, as not in that kind of first room that you go, you do not see the drow nor the wizard.
I ask the innkeeper about it.
Sure. Yeah, as you kind of come to them, mention if they've seen that drow or wizard, and she'll kind of perk up and mention, oh, they were here earlier. They've already headed off to one of the rooms. The wizard seemed to be passed out at the time.
One of the doors.
Yeah, no, Fenris goes to the door.
Lovely.
And he starts knocking.
You'll hear.
I will have Nora right behind him, just kind of curious how this is gonna unfold.
You'll hear a little bit of murmuring and some kind of like nails clacking on the ground as the door like cracks open, and you'll see the drow woman's face peek out and say, "Oh, it's you from earlier," and she'll kind of open it up earlier or open it up more and sort of ask like, "Oh, what do you need?"
I was hoping to have a word with your companion.
Oh, he's still a little knocked out at the moment. And she'll kind of look over her shoulder, and you'll see the kind of like very frail and skinny tall man sort of like curled up in a ball on like the very backside of the bed.
Is Archie with us, or is Archie like somewhere else?
It's up to Archie. Where's Archie?
Could Noro like telepathically wake somebody up, like smelling salt style?
I wouldn't say specifically he would be able to do that, but there's you can do whatever you'd like to try to wake up this guy.
You don't happen to know anything about a wizard named Melthorond, do you?
She'll kind of furrow her brows for a moment, sort of almost squint as if thinking, but she says it doesn't ring a bell. Maybe Olan might, but I'm not sure.
Is he a local?
Oh, he's she'll kind of point her thumb over her shoulder. He's resting right now, and I'd rather if you didn't wake him. But what do you need to know this wizard
no,
for?
I just said, is he local?
Oh, as in like, is this guy local?
Yeah, like, is he from there?
She'll mention that he's from down south, but he's been up here a few years. We met a little while ago.
Oh, that's a good point. Should I check to see if I know anything about Melthorand?
From what you've been here for a good amount of time, and you've heard many different stories in bars, but the name Melthorand has never come up to you.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Can I insight check this woman?
Sure, go ahead.
Fenris raises an eyebrow.
Oh, what is my fucking insight? +4, I think. +5. That is 20.
Lovely.
Dirty 20.
Let's go, dirty 20.
Yeah, you kind of you peer into this drow woman's eyes, and you can tell that despite the kind of general idea you have of drow, this woman seems a lot less like aggressive and secretive than most, and you infer that you think she's telling the truth.
Fenris nods his head and then just says, "I see. Sorry to bother you." And we'll like dip out of the room.
Sure. She kind of nods and gives a little wave as you see the face of the wolf kind of peeking out at her side, just kind of staring at you as you kind of leave the room. Doggy.
I suppose with that I'm off to retire then.
See you tomorrow then.
Sure. As you guys go.
Before Sorry.
No, absolutely take your time. I'm just like moving along because I don't know if anybody is doing anything or not. But if you have something to do, absolutely go ahead.
So in the long hours of the night when everyone else is sleeping, Fenris will take out a gold and black horn and very softly blow into it.
Sure, lovely.
It has been a few months since he has contacted anyone back home.
As you
Is Noro's? Oh wait, would Noro be close enough to hear anything?
It does certainly make a weird noise if you're like magically sensitive. You like
go ahead and make a perception check. Right now, you guys are in separate rooms, and remember that there's kind of like that tunnel underground, then they each led to ladders that went up to separate houses on the surface that have no kind of doors to them. Some of them have windows. It is windy outside, it might be hard to hear, but, you can go ahead and make a perception check if you would like.
I'd say it creates like a little bit of an arcane disturbance.
15.
15, yeah, you do hear kind of a strange sort of like, you can definitely tell it's a horn, but it sort of has like a faint kind of like howling or screaming sound to it, coming vaguely from Fenris's room. That's kind of one little hut over.
That's odd.
But as this happens, Fenris, as you kind of softly as much as you can into this horn, blow through it, you'll slowly see in the middle.
Fenris does, but like before the figure, before whatever happens, like. Fenris does take his sword out and like kind of, put the point down into the ground and like kneel.
Mm-hmm. One second.
Checking stat blocks.
Literally.
Do I need to turn on like dramatic music? Hold on.
Necessarily.
I shall find it. One moment.
Like, as in, does he have one of the same, or just whatever else he has?
Oh, sorry, I didn't see the DM.
Okay, lovely. Cool. Yeah. So as you blow into the horn, you'll see kind of in the center of the room like a small. Just like in the middle of the air, a small like corner of metal sort of appear out of nothing, and as it slowly kind of drags down, this kind of rift opens, and you can hear kind of like some sort of like howling and cheering, and sort of the sound of like cups smashing into each other, and general kind of in sounds as this as you can tell, this head of this axe is kind of like cutting open,
grinning.
Cutting open the air in front as you see a large half orc man kind of step through this portal bearing a large great axe, and say like, Fenris, it's been a good while. How have you been doing? How have you been doing, bud?
Garruk, I'm surrounded by incompetence.
Yeah, that sounds about right for you.
It certainly does. He kind of gives Garruk a little bit of a look. He's like, "Where's Fenris?"
I think that's a good question. I lost track of him a few hours ago. Last I saw, we were on the street. Somebody looked at him funny, and they ended up kind of tussling each other into an alley.
Interesting. Well, I still haven't found the wizard. I don't know if I have to kill the wizard or not yet.
Yeah, no, it was a weirdly cryptic message that you got. I mean, usually he seems pretty straightforward with the shit, but this thing seemed kind of important. I was asking around earlier, but it doesn't seem like anybody else even knows of this.
They don't?
No, yeah, I mean, I usually we're pretty open with most of the jobs we do, but I was kind of just asking around to see if anybody had any thoughts or leads or something, anything, but nobody even knew you were out doing this.
Fenris looks ever so slightly put out by that. I thought that everyone knew about it.
I mean, usually, I mean, things that are super important, everybody's talking about it, but maybe there's something's weird about this, I don't know, but, if you got any leads so far?
Just that he's in the Sea of Moving Ice still, and yes, that's about it. No wizards here.
Okay.
There's a god here, apparently.
Oh, really? What? Which one? Is that at least a cool one?
Oril.
Oh.
Oril.
Isn't she that like ice lady?
Oh, you know about her? I'd never heard about her before.
Yeah, no, I mean only in like weird fairy tales. Like there was one time I was kind of in this small like fishing town, cold, miserable fucking place, Dogan's Hole, something like that. But heard some people like talking about it, trying to, giving a little prayer. It's kind of sad and pathetic, but
Yeah, they are rather sad and pathetic. Dogan's Hole, you say? That's far more interesting than anything else I've gotten while I've been here.
Yeah, I mean, most people around here, they don't have any power for themselves, so they kind of resort to praying to, hope that the gods take mercy, not that they give a shit about them.
How pathetic. Fenris will sort of like give Garuk like he'll like pause and give Garuk like a ever so slightly pleading look and say, so what's going on back home?
Oh well, we were just some riders just came back with a few more folk, and we were just celebrating here in the tavern. He'll kind of like peek his head. That sort of rift in the air is still there, and you can see kind of like lights, and it's still cheering coming from inside. Kind of point back into it.
Mm-hmm. I'll be there soon enough.
Let's hope so, bud.
If you can find out anything about the Frostmaiden, I'd be quite appreciative.
I'll keep my ears open, see who I can coerce, and he'll kind of like crack his knuckles together a little bit.
As Garuk goes to leave, Fenris will like go to like give him a fucking bro shake, and then at the last second, they do both like punch each other across the face.
There you go. You're going to kind of like wipe his face and be like, it's hurt a little bit more than last time. Good. He'll sort of pat you on the shoulder and say, "See you soon, bud." As he kind of steps back through this portal, and his axe on his back kind of like seals it up almost like a zipper.
Oh boy, my boy.
Let's fucking go.
There we go. Oh yeah, with that I'll go to bed.
Lovely.
Hell yeah.
As you're drifting out to sleep, Noro hearing that strange noise come from the other thing as you close your eyes. Both you and Archie, go ahead and make a D6 roll for me.
Sorry,
Me?
before
Oh
people
yeah,
to
go
sleep,
ahead.
can I do something?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, there is also something I want to do before we go to sleep.
Oh, just
Well,
Archie might.
Your thing first.
Oh, okay. Archie might notice Gwyn eyeing her injury a bit guiltily, and she'll say, "I'm sorry for letting you get hurt today."
You were protecting me from what was immediately visible. You didn't know about the kobolds that were under the bridge. It's of no fault of your own.
I should have stayed closer, though.
That's all right. Maybe I could do a better job of staying closer to you then and follow your lead.
No.
And then what if you get hurt? If I'm all the way
That doesn't
in
matter.
the back. Sure it does. If you go down and you're hurt and you can't protect me, then what'll happen to me, bodyguard?
Oh wait.
Don't beat yourself up over it. It's one instance, and it was a couple kobolds. It's nothing to worry about. I'm still standing, aren't I?
Yes. I suppose so.
Good. Archie will then, sitting in the room, will turn back to her notes and then pull out her her healer's kit and prepare a couple uses of arcane booster.
Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah.
Drugs?
They're making heroin.
The steroids.
That's what Archie's here for.
Arcane.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, Fenris is homesick. Like, how could he not be? Did you hear that place? It sounds fucking awesome.
Did you hear the fucking
Would
mead
Noro
hall?
have heard like anything from like the portal at all? I know.
Yeah,
after
you heard that kind of shrill shrieking, you did hear the faint echoes of like a grand like a mead hall, like emanating solely from the small confined space of his like room across the way. What the fuck is going on in there?
Oh yeah. Wait, Carson, what was the roll that you wanted me and Noro to make?
It's after you go to sleep. But once you do, it would be a D6.
D6.
Archie?
Yeah, Nora and Archie.
Is it possible for Gwyn to attune to the compass, or is that something only certain classes can do?
You can do it, if I'm not mistaken, you can do it on a short rest. I think you can also do it in a long rest.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
After
you can
hearing Fenris what it was, yeah, I think Gwyn would like to try.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, you know, in the morning you'll be successfully attuned to the compass.
When
And-
so I like
Sorry.
ripped the law out of it as well. Sorry, I just
No worries,
want
no
to
worries.
like make that clear, right?
Mhm.
Like we know.
Yeah,
What
you,
it is.
Yeah, you kind of got like a sense, like sort of looking into it through that magic kind of interpretation through the spell. You kind of saw like brief glimpses of a paladin, you know, sort of like taking this compass, you know, doing certain spells on it. It's like not quite exactly what they were intending, but you know, it kind of left off with this compass.
Very fitting with me fucking tearing little pieces of magic off and then putting it in the sword. I did completely get that idea, by the way, from the fucking ghost.
Hell yeah.
That is how I'm like justifying in lore him learning identify.
Interesting. Lovely. I forget that Noro now has two satchels. He has the satchel he found in the shit house, and he has the satchel he found off the the ghost had picked up when he was possessed. Yeah, you got fucking 3 bags, bro. Yeah. Lovely. Oh yeah, so those are the rolls.
Sorry. Just one more thing. I
Absolutely. Go
promise.
ahead.
Gwyn will feel that itch in the back of her head
Yeah.
to write, and will carve some runes
Yeah, this,
onto her. Yeah, onto her rapier and her shield.
Yeah, Gwyn will
Sorry.
Gwyn
More
will
serious?
Gwyn
Does Archie notice this?
Yeah, from
Choose
Archie's
to
point of
envelop
view,
her
basically what
notes.
happens is that like you'll see Gwyn after this conversation sort of sitting solemnly in the corner, then all of a sudden like sort of like furrows her brow as all of a sudden she's sort of like, you can see kind of the tentacles like on her side sort of like quivering a tiny bit. They're sort of making like small sort of movements and things that seem a little bit more irregular to their general kind of static, just floaty kind of deal. And you'll see Gwyn kind of stand up like and sort of just like turn her head to her bag, start rifling through it, and sort of like pull out some parchment, different like ink and quill that was sort of like left in the in room, and start like scribbling down the strange kind of text onto paper. And then going ahead and repeating that same process like onto her like weapons and things.
Should I put it in game info or
Sure. Yeah. If
the image?
if Archie was able to see this.
Interesting. Archie
you do
will definitely notice that Gwen is doing this, but not comment on it.
Yeah, you see this text, and you certainly do not recognize the text at all. Oh, shit. Lovely.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah, and if we're all ready to go as you drift off to sleep, you guys made those rolls. You'll Noro, you sleep pretty soundly, nothing in particular, but Archie, as you fall asleep, you start having a dream. You're sort of in a large dark blue space, and it's cold, and you can see in the distance a capped iceberg. You see just this large kind of block of ice far off in the distance, and even further down into this ice, you see kind of a dark silhouette, something sort of hunched over with long black hair. You slowly hear a deep bellowing kind of laughter around. And as soon as you start hearing this laughter, it sort of gets louder and louder as this iceberg is slowly approaching you. It's still far off, but you feel yourself kind of being dragged towards it, sort of like zooming into this iceberg. And as this happens, you sort of drift back awake, and it is the morning.
Nora will be like,
Fenris wakes up with a slightly bruised bottom lip.
Yeah. It's a good fucking... The Garuk has a fucking crazy knuckle duster, fucking...
Dude.
He has a
insane right hook.
Fucking right hook.
Insane right hook. That bro's bicep is as big as his head.
Listen, Fenris has 17 constitution. If he didn't have that, his head would be off.
His head would explode like a watermelon.
What I imagine, as they wake up, like Nora's kind of like already in the main hall, and he's doing something interesting with his spear, because his regular spear is literally floating in front of him now. Like he's sort of messing around with some new abilities.
Yeah, you can
I'm gonna passively Arcana check it.
Yeah. You can go ahead and let me
9 plus 2, 11.
Cool. You recognize like kind of what he's doing. It seems familiar to a spell that you might recognize. You don't know the name particularly, but some clerics will kind of summon a sort of kind of like ghostly spectral weapon to float at their side and assist. And this seems similar and familiar in that way, but not quite. But you can definitely tell that he's more likely not using his psionic power to kind of levitate his spear in front of him.
He is using or he isn't?
It seems similar to the thing that you recognize, but it seems to be kind of just his mind levitating this spear in front of him.
Fenris isn't gonna comment, but he does just sort of give a glance and then settles down onto the bar, waiting for everyone else, kind of passively observing.
Sure. What's everyone else up to? What's Carl doing this fine morning?
I was gonna say probably as this is happening, Carl will probably run back into the inn through the front door, like sweating, just back from his morning run around the town 5 times.
Yeah.
He fucking Kool-Aid Mans his way through the door.
He comes in with like a very loud grunt.
Oh damn! I forgot to mention earlier that Dodok, seeing this Ursine would have commented that it's been a long time since he's seen a Ursine, and just kind of a general like glad you folk are still doing well out here.
Yeah.
But otherwise, yeah.
I would have given him a happy pat on the back
30
for that.
days from exploding.
Yay!
Glad you're doing well. Feels the worming in his stomach.
When Carl comes in, Fenris will just kind of give him like a little 2-fingered salute.
Yeah, he'll give him the, like a nice nod, a little bear smile, half smile, and notice Nora's floating spear. And be like, holy shit, that's awesome. What are you doing?
Nora catches it, from like that full spin. He holds it up. He's like, expect.
Wow. I love smart people. Can I make it float too?
Nora's like about to say something, but he catches himself, and he's like, he puts 2 fingers to his chin. He's like, not yet.
He looks very, very sad about this. Incredibly dejected. He's looking at his feet.
Can I cast Mage Hand and grab the spear?
Yeah. Nora, would you be resisting this at all?
He's not doing it
Nora,
like super rudely, but he is just kind of like, oh yeah, I could do it too.
Nora like holds out, opens his hand the moment he feels like Fenris tugging at it with Mage Hand.
Cool. Yeah.
You see, from like thin air, strands of shadow materialize into really not a nice looking hand at all. It looks like it belongs to a wraith, and it starts twirling the spear around.
Carl like looks very just blank watching this and hits him with a, "Holy shit! Am I doing that right now?"
Fenris does not like give any indication that Carl is not doing this.
Oh my God,
Nora doesn't say anything either.
Carl starts moving his arms in front of him and making whooshing sound effects, hoping that it will fall out.
Must be some sort of slard magic.
Wow.
He drops the mage hand.
Wow.
Nora kind of like slings it telekinetically back to his hand.
Thanks for letting me have a go.
Of course.
Would Gwyn and Archie be out by this time?
Yes.
Archie definitely would be. Yeah, Archie would be like sitting at one of the tables in the inn, kind of eyeing like the other three, goofing around a little bit, still trying to cross-reference her own notes with another notebook with a lot more information, but a lot less like sticky notes and bookmarks sticking out of it. Trying to make sense of the information and then transcribing it into her own notes.
Fuck it. Before anything else, I suppose I should just ask Nora, you mind handing me that crystal?
Nora kind
figure
of
out what it is today.
Nora does like the telepathic, like slings it over.
Fenris is going to slowly, like not fully draw his blade, just like halfway.
Mm-hmm.
And just gently run it over the surface of the crystal as like the little purple strands of it slowly draw into it and are drained.
Identify time, baby.
Identify time, baby!
I identify it. Oh wait, wrong chat. Yeah, so you're able to identify this item as a psi crystal, a wondrous item. It requires attunement by a sorcerer. The psychic trauma the Mind Flayer endured when it died caused the crystal to form in its mind. This, wait, there's a little bit of text there that needs to go away. Wait. There we go. Yeah, you can use the shard as a spellcasting focus for your sorcerer spells while you hold or wear it. When you use the meta magic option on a spell, while you are holding or wearing this crystal, immediately after casting the spell, you can teleport to an unoccupied space you can see within 30 feet of you. The crystal also glows with a purplish inner light while you are attuned to it. The higher your intelligence, the greater the light's intensity. And I have a little table that will determine that.
Does my sword have anything to say about the little taste of the item I gave it?
As you have the little taste of the item, what would your sword's opinion on mind flayers be? Has it encountered any mind flayers in the past?
Oh, it certainly would have. Yes. Most likely some form of disgust, but not the regular sort of disgust.
Yeah.
People would feel more like it's worse than me.
Yeah, as it kind of takes in that, it sort of also gives a little bit of it's a little bit pleased by the fact that I can definitely sense it was a very painful death, whatever this thing experienced.
He'll hand it back to Naro and sort of explain what he gleaned from the crystal, and he adds with a very small smirk that the Mind Flayer must have died very, agonizingly.
Noro kind of like it's still wrapped in the cloth. I imagine he's not touching it directly still.
Sure.
But he kind of looks at it a little bit deeper than usual.
As you
Yeah,
you
just
try
kinda-
you try to glean any sort of thoughts from this thing as you would any living person, but you're kind of coming up blank. You can sense sort of a great deal of sort of lingering pain coming from this thing, but otherwise nothing. But yeah, you can
And
you can attune to it on your next short rest or long rest.
Got it.
And then if I could see, I'll burn another spell slot. I might as well. If I can see the axe, see what
The axe.
Carl
Yes,
ended up
yes,
with.
yes. Let me see.
There is also the Crimsteel spear.
Yeah,
Nora
the
did keep that.
spearhead and the arrowhead.
I used a warlock spell slot and I used another spell slot. I forgot 3. Yeah, no, fuck that. Dude.
This one doesn't have
You learn identify.
this one doesn't quite have the same the format as the others, but this is just my message that I sent to Finn describing what the battle axe is. But you kind of glean that it's it counts as a magic +1 battle axe. You can tell that there certainly is no spirit lingering in it anymore, but there was sort of kind of a ghostly residue that was left behind, some sort of kind of like a misty substance that sort of slowly seeps out the crack of the head of that battle axe. You can tell it's inherently magical now, but it doesn't provide any specific effect besides just dealing a little bit more damage.
Cool.
Neuro kind of like.
Oh yeah, also
sort
it
of
smells
falls
faintly
over.
of lavender and mint.
Lavender.
That's important. That's important.
That is important.
That's
actually,
very
yeah.
important.
That's true.
Neuro kind of pulls out the spearhead from his bag and takes the wooden shaft that he had from earlier and passively begins like wrapping the spearhead with rope to kind of
Right. Try to
make it
kind of
spear.
secure it in position. Go ahead and make a, I would say, survival check.
Survival check. Okay. Let's see.
In the meantime, so have we kind of like completed all our quests? Are we out looking for something now?
Right now, not particularly. You're still kind of have your eyes open for Svek Caltro, but you haven't seen Torgs. You haven't seen that roaming caravan yet so far. Otherwise, things on your
That's an
docket.
11.
11. Cool. Yeah, as you kind of, it's a little shoddy just because it's not necessarily done by a professional, but you do secure the spearhead to the end of this end of the shaft and have yourself a Chardelin spear. As you're still holding onto this, this kind of spear with this spearhead, you do still feel kind of a negative energy coming from this from the spearhead. You yourself are a little bit more aware of it than maybe the average person, but you can definitely feel it kind of tugging on you a little bit.
Neuro preemptively wraps it in thick cloth.
Sure,
just
as
to kind
you
of cover it before
as-
like slipping it into his.
Yeah, even after
probably
after,
into one of his 3 bag holders.
yeah, as you wrap up kind of the head of the spear and sort of try to like sling it through kind of the armrest of this thing as it's on your back, you still kind of feel that a little bit, maybe a little more damped, but still persisting. Also, okay, yeah. So for as far as quote unquote quests, Svet Caltro thing. Otherwise, one of your party mates has a thing growing inside of them, and the other the other one has equipment that might be able to help it. But you know from your map that it would be about if you were to go straight to Caer Konig, where Archie is from, it would be almost a 3-day trip, just across the tundra. The Dwarven Valley being.
God damn, that's fucking far away.
Yeah, the Dwarven Valley,
Really
the Dwarven
fucking
Valley,
far
where the battle hammer dwarves being right and smack dab in the middle of it, so you'd have to kind of go around it. And then otherwise, Lonely Wood is about 5 hours away, just where Nora lives. You're also nearby.
And the Sea of Shifting Ice, the Sea of Moving Ice.
Sea of Moving Ice.
Sea of
That's
Moving
that's a that would be a solid like almost week's travel.
I don't know.
Honestly, probably a little bit more.
Oh,
than that,
quick
but yeah.
DM.
Oh,
Gerson.
Oh yeah.
I
let me
should
repeat
be
that.
transparent with you all. I'm looking to go to the Sea of Moving Ice, but that's rather far away. So, if any of you have some more pressing issues, he looks directly at Carl.
Carl
Should
raises
probably
his hand.
handle those first. I have no desire to track through a week of snow on my own.
Well,
Yeah. Nora first.
well, let's see here. Sea of Moving Ice is about a week's out, and I believe where we're going, where Archie is, it's like a shop or or is it
Office.
like a clinic,
my
office,
office,
clinic.
pretty much. Yeah.
Archie's office is probably a little bit closer to 5 days. Still be a bit of a trek,
3 days.
I think it's a worthy journey.
but
I would agree,
can,
Carl.
I can
Carl.
say I probably can make it a little bit easier for us. Back at my home in Lonelywood, there is a sled there that we use. The local trapper there uses it with dogs to travel long distances. Might make it just a little bit easier for us.
I'd be happy
It's
to make
used-
a pit stop.
Can I make a survival check and just kind of like figure out how
Sure, go
like
ahead.
much
Yeah, you guys can make a
like
group
climb that
survival.
would cut off?
You guys can make a group survival check and go ahead and do that.
Oh, that is. That is.
Oh, now I gotta find my modifier.
Only got a 12. Oh.
Lovely, lovely. I have the actual map hung up on my wall now, so I can actually do my little measurement thing. And where's my little measurement thing? My measurement thing is gone. Sweet. Yeah, so you can tell that, or you know, from what you know about like dogs and sleds, you know, you'd obviously need to feed the dogs that you kind of rent off of this guy, but on foot without snowshoes, you can make it about 1/4 of a mile per hour. But once you guys had snowshoes, which you now do, you could do about 1/2 a mile in an hour. But having a dog sled, you can do a full mile per hour. So now it will basically cut the time in half. It would make it so it's about.
Would it fit us all?
Yeah, this large dog sled is generally used to carry carcasses of you know, like
What if
animals
Carl
and
was
beasts.
also pulling it?
I'm gonna say Carl would be more than happy to pull.
Yeah, man. Depending on what he rolls, you know, he might be able to assist these dogs. If he,
I got a
if he's somewhat-
23. Can I kind of make a calculation in my head looking at Carl?
From what you can
Yeah,
tell, I mean,
just
he's a big, strong man. He definitely could assist and make a significant difference. Should he not be exhausted by, you know, pulling 5 people and a bunch of stuff through like 5 miles of snow.
Actually,
The
I
thought
count
that
as large.
enters-
Actually,
That is true. That is
the
true.
thought that
That is
enters
true.
Fenris's mind is, well, he is running for his life.
Yeah, I
Just thought I'd throw that out.
I would say that's reasonable. Yeah, I mean, he does have the thing where his carrying capacity counts as large for like pulling, pushing, whatever. So he can definitely make a significant difference in that.
Yeah, Fenris is definitely going to float the idea to Carl.
Carl nods. Carl's happy to help. He's like, anything to get more gains.
More gains. Amen.
Fenris like fucking nods his head, and he's like, yeah, that's pretty badass. Okay, there's a point in Fenris's book now.
And then we could stop at the Dwarven Valley on our way too, assuming we're going straight from Tourmaline to Caerconnig. Once we get the dog sled.
I'm gonna have Noro take a look over at Archie's. Well, no, not Archie. Gwyn's shield and sword for a moment because something about them kind of caught his eye as they walked in.
Yeah, as you you kind of look over the shield and sword, and you'll recognize those runes on it.
Huh? What?
Row.
Yeah, it's up to you, Nora, if you wanna mention this or say anything about it. You know, it's your choice.
Noro kind of squints and kind of notes it for later.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Fascinating.
Oh.
This guy figured it out. I heard it in his voice. Lovely.
Nah, man. Nah, man. Nah. I have no idea what you're fucking talking about, my dude.
Yeah, no,
You're
man.
crazy.
No, that's good. No, it's good.
You're crazy.
Surely.
You're crazy.
Surely it's nothing. But yeah, no, yeah. So Nora brings up the idea that he knows he himself owns a sled that he uses for his kind of hunting trips. So he can bring in things, but it should comfortably fit most of you. It is. There are times where you can carry multiple like elk on the back of this thing. It's pretty oversized, but Nora's a good hunter.
And it's worth mentioning that the sled was originally for 2 people.
Yeah. There are kind of like 2 seats on the front and then just on a large space in the back. But yeah, Nora mentioned that he knows kind of a trapper there that also like breeds and tames sled dogs that he can get a good deal with. He knows the guy pretty well. But yeah.
Can I buy
Actually,
rations
Yes.
with our
Can I
newfound
buy rations?
malt?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Carson, can we all have rations?
No.
I will buy. It's a gold ration, right?
I think
Gold
it
for
was
2.
Yeah, gold for 2. So it's like 50 silver
50
per
silver
gold.
each,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or no, 5 silver per gold. I
Okay,
forgot
so
that's how it works.
I'm gonna use fucking 4 gold to buy 8 rations.
Lovely.
Same
That
here.
leaves me with 138 gold.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude,
Ballin'.
He'll never
Ballin'
financially
iron.
recover.
I'll never financially recover.
I'll buy 10 rations for 5 gold.
Sounds
I'm down to
good.
56 gold here.
Me too. Yo.
I'll buy 4 rations for however many gold that is. How much gold is that?
That
2
is
gold.
2 gold.
Sick.
So I have
Yeah, I'll
10
do the
rations.
same.
Actually,
Nice.
nah, fuck it. I want to buy 10 gold for 10 rations. For...
As you guys kind of at the counter, this 15-year-old girl who's like running it is just like scrambling around back and forth trying to get various like jerkies and kind of on the road food.
I'm just imagining like she brings all this food up to Fenris, and then he like puts down like 2 more gold pieces on the table, and she
And
just
2
runs back.
and 5 more
I want-
Whoppers.
Yeah, I want 5 Whoppers and 5
More Whoppers.
Oh,
If you get this wrong, I will kill you.
if Karuk was here, I'd be doing this a coin at a time.
Yeah.
Dude, Archie's like the mom friend, man. She's got like the med kit to if anyone like fucks
Yeah,
up.
little
She's got
Band-Aids.
like 14 rations in her bag if anyone gets hungry, dude.
I'm hungry. Here, have a granola bar.
Like flings a granola bar at you.
We all good to
Can-
set out on the road? Oh, go on.
Just before we leave, can I actually buy a longsword?
Oh yeah. So if
Ooh.
you I kind of back at the that same little shop. Let's call it the opulent stone. That's what we're gonna call that little shop that dwarf man was running. You come in and he gives his kind of big toothy smile with kind of the gleaming jewels kind of embedded in his teeth. And you'll sort of you can walk up, ask if he has any weaponry, and he'll say like, oh yeah, I sure do, and he'll kind of hobble back into the back, and he'll bring out a pretty standard looking longsword. Or you said longsword, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, he'll bring out kind of a pretty standard looking longsword compared to kind of the other things he was showing you before. It does seem pretty sturdy. It's pretty standard make. He will take a moment to ponder as he looks up on Google how much a longsword would cost.
He just pulls out a computer. He pulls out a laptop and just starts.
No, he's pondering
Oh,
his
oil
ancient dwarven
bombs.
mind.
Yeah, takes off
Boil?
his glasses, puts on another pair of glasses. Ooh, these ones have a blue light filter, so I can use my computer.
That is true.
As long as you have enough rupees.
As long as you have enough rupees.
He'll strong his long, like wispy white beard. It's a little thin. He'll say, "I'm willing to hand off this fine long sword I got off of an adventure a long time ago for I'd say 17 gold pieces."
Nora
Seven.
puts his hand on the table and says, 10 gold pieces.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Thank
Natural
you,
20.
Nora.
Oh, nice.
Dude, fucking
Thank you, Nora.
silver tongue Nora, holy shit. So,
Oh,
so
no,
the
believe me, Archie was this close to stepping in if Nora
no
couldn't get through.
pickles. Yes.
Archie
I'm
knows.
just
Archie
imagining
knows.
Noro doesn't quite reach the counter, but like he kind of like puts his hand up and like leans over.
Yeah. This dwarf, you know, you can see kind of like a bead of sweat running down his head. He's getting nervous. He's losing business here, and he'll say like he'll kind of look around the room and see that you have like, you know, a full band of adventurers in here. You know, ask for this 10 gold. And he's like, well, you know, you've given me patronage before. Yeah, sure. And he'll kind of slide the long sword over the table and
He needs to make his money back. He just fucking he gave a lot of money to us
Totally
yesterday.
losing
yeah,
money.
yeah.
I'm just Noro is bleeding this guy dry.
You can already see that the gems that you gave him yesterday, he's personally adorned 2 little like clasps on his beard. He's he likes money. But yeah, he'll hand over the sword. You know, he'll hand over the 10 gold pieces, and he'll kind of weigh them in his hand and say, pleasure doing business with you all. And, you know, another horrible toothy smile as he has his weird like dwarven goggles on.
Thank you very much.
Noro kind of like pats Gwen on the arm.
Thank you too.
Give me just one moment.
I was just like, I can do it, so why not?
So I will do it.
As you you know, as you kind of are handling the sword, you know, flipping it over, sort of inspecting it, you can see the pommel's kind of like a sort of like a fishtail pommel, comes out almost like a triangle, and has sort of grooves in it. And you'll to kind of like, you know, lines that kind of spread outwards, and the hilt of the sword is kind of also long, curving upwards towards the blade a little bit, kind of flayed out a tiny bit, and you'll see a small engraving of kind of like a hummingbird in the center of the pommel, as well as two words engraved on the left and right side of it in a language you don't understand, but you can go ahead and make just a base intelligence check for me real quick.
Oh, good. Natural one.
Lovely.
Oh.
Yeah, you have absolutely no idea what these kind of carved in runes could be at all.
Could I also
Oh, hey, Carson. Quick question.
Yeah.
You see, at this level, I would have learned to detect thoughts as an aberrant mind sorcerer. I kind of already know that. Could I replace that with another spell?
Yeah, I'm super down. After this, we can like go through like different shit and see like if there's any cooler ones that you would want to take instead.
Gotcha.
But yeah, cool. Yeah. That is a very good point. Yeah, no. If anybody else wanted to also do an intelligence check to see if they can recognize what this might be.
Oh yeah, sure. I'll do that.
God, I'm sobbing, crying. Curled in the ball.
And this is an
Once I don't
intelligence
have a super high thing in it, what is my intelligence? +2.
Hey, nuts.
That is 12.
Lovely.
Damn, we're sucking it.
Yeah, none of you know. None of you can really like. Certainly, none of you can read this language, but none of you quite recognize it either. It's kind of it's made with like lots of long, bulky lines with sharp corners and sort of you know, like not that it's crudely carved, but it's not like a very flowy language. It's lots of rigid lines and kind of like runic shapes. But yeah,
So it's nothing any of us recognize.
yeah, none of you can really infer what it might be.
Dwarvish.
No, I can.
And it's kind of
I
like
know
throws
Dwarvish.
out a few languages it could be as he's looking at it.
I know Dwarvish. That's not it.
Wait, you know Dwarvish?
Shopkeep.
Since when did you
Yep.
know Dwarvish? All right. Oh yeah, you
since
fucking know
beginning,
Dwarvish. I
right?
just looked over it. Yeah, it's Dwarvish runes. It's that's awesome. I'll actually like draw out what the runes look like, but basically in like English script or like text, it reads this. I'll figure out how to pronounce that later. But basically that translates to quick bird.
Ah, like the hummingbird.
Yeah. It's
Bucket landmark.
it's pretty standard sword otherwise. So, stat block wise, it's kind of just a normal longsword. But yeah, there you go. Very cool.
Very cool.
Lovely, yeah. But yeah. So you guys kind of set out from this shop and head out kind of through. There's a northern road out of Tourmaline that kind of hugs Mare Dul Dawn, the large lake to your left. And it's a long travel up north. The weather luckily seems well enough, and you have kind of the woods at your side, blocking a lot of the incoming drafts from the north, from the sea of moving ice. But across the river, there is some wind kind of blowing in. Obviously, incredibly cold. But as you guys travel, you guys can make a group survival check. So everybody just roll a survival check, basically.
God.
I love my survival modifier. I love it so much.
Yes.
Same.
I forgot that I've been rolling this fucking entire time without Jack of all trades. That's unfortunate.
Fuck.
Crying.
Jack of all
What was
trades,
it?
master
Survival?
of everything.
Yeah, it's just a survival check.
Yeah,
17.
Master of everything, not king of all trades.
Sorry. What was everybody's roll?
16,
17.
22, and 17.
Lovely. Yeah. So, goddamn. Yeah. So anybody who rolled above a 15 would kind of as you're walking along, you'll sort of notice some very small footprints in the snow in front of you. They seem incredibly fresh, as it is still is kind of a little bit of snow's coming down. And they kind of lead off into the woods over a tiny little kind of like hill of snow off to your right in the woods.
Could I make a check on them to see what they are?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm also definitely gonna do that.
Yeah,
Nat
Carl's getting
20,
ready.
let's go.
Oh, never mind. I just won't roll. Actually, no, I will.
Yeah. You.
Wait, what is it?
That is a 16.
It was a survival check.
Oh, okay. Lol.
Yes,
We're a
as
bunch
you,
of nowhere.
Oh my god.
Yeah, fucking eyes scoping. Yeah. So Archie, you would recognize the shape and size of these footprints to be similar to the things you saw at the window that one night. The small little people that were kind of cloaked in straw and wore little masks. Very cartoonish little creatures. And Noro, you would recognize these tracks immediately. You've heard many tales of the Chewingas, the kind of these kind of like elemental spirits that are very lighthearted and very very friendly and curious about humans. They can be easily frightened off, but generally they kind of almost see humans like humans would see like a small cute dog. Like they think they're just fascinated and very interested in what they have to do.
Does it look like they're walking in our direction, or does it look like they're
from
walking
you
up the forest?
you were like walking along this path of the lake to your left and the woods to your right, and you just saw these little footprints kind of come from the middle of this pathway, and they jut off to the right into the woods.
Oh, so were they already there though, or did they just suddenly appear?
It seemed like they came from north, like they were coming down the lake and then came down and took a left into the woods.
Okay. Yeah, this is a very interesting find here. Nora stands up. Seems a little bit excited. Seems we might be near something called a Chewinga.
Really?
A
I
what?
recognize these footprints.
A Chewinga, the elemental spirits. They're very docile, but they're interested in humans. Not much to worry about. But they're nearby.
I'm curious.
They are easily scared though.
You'll at this moment see over this kind of like little like mound of snow, like it's nothing big, literally like maybe like waist high. You'll see kind of a little like head peek out. It's a similar sort of face to the one you Archie and Gwen had seen earlier. Here, I think I already sent images of what they look like.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you'll see.
Away is it?
Not very, like maybe like a good like 10 feet away.
Wait, did you say
Oh.
it looked familiar to me and Gwen? Like it was one we had, like the same one we'd seen, like...
Go ahead and make a perception check.
Sure.
May I as well?
Yeah.
Oh
God.
no.
Yeah,
Good.
rolling like shit.
Lovely.
Literally.
You're not quite sure. You can't quite recognize it. It was so brief in such kind of a dark night that you didn't see. But you'll see as this thing peeks over the corner, it'll sort of like give a big wave and sort of run up to Archie's foot, and sort of like with its kind of, it has very like skinny arms. It'll sort of like grab onto the side of Archie's foot and like kind of one like the shoelaces and sort of like tug it and like point over the hill.
Okay. Archie will kneel down and lay her hand in the snow next to the chewinga as to offer to give it like a lift.
This thing happily kind of like scrambles up your hand and sort of like is sort of climbing up the side of your shoulder and will sort of like sit down next to your head, like holding kind of onto your ear, to keep steady. There we go.
Well, I think it wants to lead us somewhere.
Fenris is instantly wary of anything trying to lead Buddy anywhere being from the fucking Feywild.
Archie will start walking in the direction of the where like over the hill and kind of wave to Gwyn to follow.
Oh, Gwen's already. She's like right there next to her.
As you're walking, this little thing will kind of like look over to Gwyn and sort of wave.
Gwen will blink and wave back.
As you guys kind of crest this hill, you'll sort of
make sure they don't die.
you'll come to a small little clearing. In the woods, and in the center you see two more of these small creatures, and they seem to have like a plate sitting there in the middle of this kind of open field. Some of them holding knives, and one of them holding a fork. There's a small little like snowman, even smaller than them, standing next to it, and a pine cone in the middle of the plate. And the two of them are sitting there holding these things, and they're sort of like with their hands miming like eating something, as if they're pretending that they had something in their hands that they were eating. And as you crest over the hill, they'll kind of like perk to attention and sort of also like run up to two other youths, one to Carl and one to Fenris's foot.
Oh my god.
Don't kick it,
What
don't
is it
kick
doing
it.
to Fenris?
Don't kick it, don't kick
I'm not gonna fucking kick it.
Oh my god.
Fenris leans down and sort of like he offers his hand almost like it's like if you could imagine trying to like shake hands with something that's very, very small.
Yeah, kind of stick out a finger
Like,
and
kinda
it'll
like-
sort of yeah, it'll clasp kind of what it can from your hand with two sort of shakes and when you reach down your hand, it'll sort of like kind of begin to like climb up your hand, like using your fingers as like a ladder.
Fenris shrugs and he stands up.
He'll as you kind of stand up, this thing will sort of like climb up your arm, and also it'll look down and see your sword on your hilt, and sort of very curiously also begin to like scale down towards your scabbard that you have it in.
Fenris does like kind of put a finger on its back and go, "Don't touch that.
It'll kind of look.
It's rather dangerous."
It'll look up. None of these things have said a single word yet, but it'll still like it'll kind of look at you, then look at the sword, and like slowly kind of like creep towards it, like shuffling towards it slowly.
Like, I will to like kind of demonstrate, just like very slightly unsheath it, but like not enough that it could like stick its grubby little hand on the blade and cut it.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Oh god. Okay,
Well,
well,
you
got this,
that's
you're
a
a bard,
natural
you got
20 with fucking. That's natural 20 with fucking persuasion proficiency.
As
Yeah, dude.
as you kind of like slowly unsheath this blade, just kind of like that sort of faint like shrieking sort of like shredding metal noise will kind of like echo out from it, and you'll see this little thing like just like kind of its posture just like drop for a moment as it kind of like stumbles and sort of like rolls down the back of your hilt and into a giant pile of snow behind you.
Oh no.
You'll sheath it and offer to like help it up.
Yeah, he'll kind of pull it out of the snow, like your full forearm like goes completely into the snow pile and pulls it back out.
Small creature.
Wow.
I would like to pet this creature.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, there's 3 of them total. Kind of just hanging out around.
Yeah.
One of them.
We're playing Secunda, by the way.
One of them who's the one that was at Carl's feet. Sort of walks back over to the plate.
Pick him up. Please let me pick him up. Please.
Wait. So he'll walk over to the plate and sort of like look up at you and like kind of like wave over as it like sits down at the plate.
Carl runs. Carl is at the ready.
Dum, dum, dum. Does what's Carl doing?
And stuffs some herb in his pipe and walks over, sits down cross-legged, and just kind of like sees what the fuck is going on.
Yeah. Both these they've kind of most of them besides the one that's still on Archie's like shoulder kind of have returned to the plate, sat down and are mimicking eating and sort of like waving over people and like sitting like tapping on the ground next to them.
Oh, Carl pretends to eat with them.
Yeah.
Yes. Noro kind of like sort of sits down in the snow. He still has a little bit of the leaf himself. And this time, notably, when he does huff it, like you can actually visibly see his face shapeshift like it was before, just kind of across like only his eyes this time as he takes a huff.
Make an intimidation check real quick.
Wait, an intimidation check?
Just real quick.
No.
I'd also like to add the effect is different now, as before it was like a deep sense of nostalgia. Now it's a deep sense of melancholy.
Mind you, Noro is looking up. He's not looking at.
Sure.
Just kind of, yeah. Oh man, do I have to roll the intimidation
Yes.
check?
Tell me the number now.
19 intimidation.
No. Yeah. So this one of them on the ground will kind of like stand up and quickly kind of shuffle behind Fenris's leg, but the other one that was near Carl will kind of like will start like clambering up the side of Carl's arm and like kind of look over, like sort of having like holding on with one hand, sort of leaning forward with the other hand, kind of up to its head, sort of looking in the distance, sort of staring at Noro's face. More out of curiosity than anything.
Noro sees this and he kind of like reflexively, like his face turns back to normal, and he kind of like pulls his hood a little bit over his eyes.
Interesting.
Looks away and continues smoking.
Lovely. Yeah, as you guys kind of take this just little nice little break in the woods, playing house with these little like kind of frivolous little spirits. But after some time, most of them, or the 3 of them, will kind of turn to sitting there, and sort of 2 of them will sort of like sit down with the fork and the knife and continue pretending, but eventually kind of stand up and sort of like start wandering off. But one of them remains and kind of just like stares up at all you, and sort of like motions to like pick it up.
Oh my God! Carl picks it up.
Yeah, as you kind of lay your leg, big like ursine hand down to it, and it sort of clambers up the paw and sort of just kind of finds its way into kind of a good sitting position, and sort of just sits here and then kind of just like points back at the road.
Little guy.
We have a little guy.
We have a little guy. Let's
Get
go.
into any combat with him. Keep him safe.
Yeah, no, just keep him with me. Like I'm in the back. It's fine.
Little guy obtained. Little guy got.
A little friend acquired.
Which one was it, by the way?
That would be the one that was, it was initially the one that was sitting with Carl, the one that was curious about Noro's face. He was initially holding a knife.
He's my little adventurer.
The other one that was with you, and the other one that was with Archie is definitely like as they were leaving, they did wave off, specifically at you both.
Archie
Fenris gave like a slightly more solid two-fingered salute.
Yeah.
Noro kind of suddenly stands up and adjusts the spear on his shoulder, and he kind of huffs out one last smoke before tucking into his pocket. Let's move on.
Lovely.
Lonely Wood.
Good. Yeah, as you guys yeah, this chewing will kind of, you know, nestle up kind of like at your neck, kind of into the fur, and sort of holding on, hunker down for the long journey ahead. Very curious and interested in this strange group of people who were, you know, nice enough to play along with their little game. But as you guys continue to venture forth towards the Lonely Wood, a few more hours pass. You guys woke up in the morning, and now it's maybe around noon by the time you enter. Give me just 1 second to double check some stuff.
I need to use the restroom.
Go bathroom.
No, you're not allowed.
Just pee in the snow, no one will look.
Goddamn. Fucking, I'm swimming in goddamn cash, dude. 137 gold pieces.
Archie is sad that the little guy that recognized her and Gwen did not stick around. And
I'm sad that the one that was climbing around on me isn't around.
This little guy,
my
you know,
face is fucking terrifying.
I mean, this one. I mean,
you
even
scared
with
him off.
a 19 intimidation check, this thing was more interested and curious about you than like scared.
He's so cool.
So it's silly.
Nora's still a little bit upset about it.
Yeah, well, you fucking little guyless losers are mourning your loss. I'm gonna fucking throw mine up in the air like toddler style. And I'm
He's very
Make
intimate.
it unarmed attacks.
Whoa.
During the rest of this trip, though, this little guy was however on Carl's back, but was definitely like just kind of looking around at each of you, sort of just like curiously watching as you continue to travel.
We have a
Or
friend.
occasionally, Fenris would use like prestidigitation to like do something like interesting.
Yeah, taking care of the little baby.
Archie will
Child.
Dude, this guy would go fucking crazy for
glance
peekaboo.
over.
Oh my god. He's just like me.
Write that down.
Write that down.
Archie like frequently glances over at the little guy and like jots down like a couple notes every now and again in her notebook about like what he's doing.
How big are they again?
They are very small. They're maybe like, I'd say like
About Noro's height.
no, I'd say maybe like 4 to 5 inches tall, maybe.
Oh my god, tiny little friend.
Little freak.
I'm not that small.
I'm not that small. They're like literally like if you like stand up a fork, they're like as tall as a fork.
Oh my
Like kind of
god.
not like a huge fork, but just sort of standard medium fork.
Little guy acquired. Finally, we have a little guy.
Yeah, dude.
We've done it.
It's freaking epic, dude. I wish I could speak so I could do that voice.
Yeah, what is like the environment around Lonelywood look like? By the way, like I assume we're like in a forest.
Yeah, so Lonelywood is also on the river. Here I can go ahead and send what I was gonna send into in-game info. But adorned on pretty tattered rags and flags, you'll see their crest of Lonelywood, which is kind of just a blank dark green field with kind of 2 white spikes jutting from the bottom in the north. Nora would know a little bit of town history and know that this place was initially settled by adventurers and immigrants from Cormier, The top white spike on this green field represents a like an icicle, kind of representing that this is one of the furthest north towns in Icewind Dale, and the one on the bottom represents a what does it represent? That's a very good question. The one on the bottom is an ivory horn representing the town's scrimshaw trade, and then and then there's that map on the right. Nora's house can be one of pretty much any of those, whichever you'd like to decide on the little map.
Gotcha.
This is where you're from, Nora.
Yes, this is home for the last year at least.
The last year.
I moved here a while ago with my brother. Well, I moved here to my brother.
Is your brother also
he
like
here?
When you ask if his brother's here, Noro kind of gets a bit of a somber look on his face. Doesn't say anything.
Carl completely like the sadness goes over his head. He doesn't even notice that your face has changed, and he's like, "Is he also like one of the, like he's trying to find the polite way to say it. He's like, like the
Doppelganger.
No,
thing that
he's
thing."
not.
Wow.
No,
Does he know that you're a doppelganger?
Noro just kind of like runs his hand across his face and just kind of keeps walking.
Fenris raises an eyebrow at him suspiciously. He has an inkling.
Yeah.
Is Noro out of earshot?
Noro's towards the front,
Yeah,
so I imagine he's probably a little bit further ahead.
And Fenris is gonna look at Carl briefly, and just kind of like under his breath say, "You don't suppose he's wearing his brother?"
Oh my god. Oh, Carl like yeah. I was like, holy shit! And he looks around and he looks at Noro and he sees that he's sad and he's like, oh, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
He seems a bit out of shape about it.
Yeah, I didn't mean to hit a nerve, but his whole life kind of seems like a sensitive subject.
I'd be sensitive about it too if I was a doppelganger.
Yeah, well, I'm not a bitch, so I mean, yeah.
Yeah, luckily I have nothing to hide at all.
Yeah, you sure look like you've got nothing to hide. And he like eyes you very suspiciously.
And Fenris gives like an innocuous little smile. He's like, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Where would Noro be leading them first in Lonelywood?
I imagine he'd probably lead them over towards his house, closer towards where the guy that like rents the dogs are. It's like a little bit closer to the edge of town.
Mm-hmm.
Worth mentioning as they're kind of walking through, you could see like a couple of people like recognize Nora as he walks by. They kind of like give him like that two-fingered wave, and he just kind of nods in their direction as he walks by.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's clearly, people in this town know who he is,
Mm-hmm.
but notably they don't say anything to him, not out of any sort of fear, but more just kind of silent look, as if this is kind of like a regular occurrence.
Mm-hmm.
And
They know?
Nora just kind of shakes his head and keeps walking.
Interesting.
Yeah, as you guys will approach this building. You said you were going to the shop of your house. Sorry, which one?
The shop is right next to the house.
Yeah,
His
yeah,
house
you guys
is like
are-
maybe 10 meters in the direction next to it.
You guys are close by, but yeah, as you
I imagine as you approach, you can kind of hear like dogs barking and like running around.
yeah, there's definitely the kennels
I
kind of.
just preemptively, I just want to cast fucking speak with animals as a ritual
Sure.
because I act dialogue. I need those. I need the extra dialogue off.
How long does it cast?
I need
How long does it
more
take to do
dialogue.
ritual spells? I forget how that works.
I
Depends on
believe
the-
it's like normally like 10 minutes, but it's like if you don't want me to have randomly stopped and started doing like Skyrim ritual animation for 10 minutes.
He does like the little dance and everything that they do.
Yeah, I guess that's fair enough. I mean, you knew that you were going to be going, to a place with a bunch of dogs. That's fair enough that you've been doing that for the past little while. But yeah, no. So yeah, as you approach, yeah, there's this kind of a pretty simple wooden log cabin next to a little bit larger cabin that has kind of like a large kind of fenced in area behind it, which you can hear dogs kind of barking and sniffing and doing whatnot in the back. But yeah, where do you guys go? What's the plan?
Well, Naro,
Noro kind of like taps on the door 3 times with his spear.
Mm-hmm.
Open up.
You'll hear some scrambling, and then a door swing open. You'll see a tall half elf man with darker skin, kind of curly but long black hair, and he'll sort of say like, "Oh, Noro, how has it been? It's been a little while. Come in." He'll kind of usher you in. He'll sort of look behind you in a moment and be like, "Oh, are these your friends?"
It's like,
I suppose you can use that word.
well,
Fenris
are
ducks
we-
into the house.
Hopefully you'll
Noro nods, just kind of like continues in. Thanks for your hospitality.
his
Fenris will like take his hood back and stuff now that he's inside.
They're respectful.
that's the guy's name. I just DM'd you.
Thank you very much.
But yeah, as you guys kind of enter, and you'll come into this pretty nicely adorned room. It's pretty simple. There's a couple wooden chairs. There's kind of a chandelier in the center that's made out of like kind of caribou antlers, sort of holding the things up. A few paintings on the wall, but relatively simple place. And he'll kind of come in and sort of he'll walk into a back room for a moment. And you can hear him kind of clattering with different cups and things, and he'll bring out what looks to be like kind of a large bottle of wine and a kind of a plate with several different cups on it, one for each of you. As he kind of sits down in one of the chairs and sort of pours them out, sort of walking around handing them out to each person. He'll ask like, "Oh, what brings you in today?"
I'm very sorry I wasn't able to bring in the hunt I was going on. I got a little bit sidetracked, but I'm back here now, and I would like to rent a couple of your dogs.
And he'll kind of still handing out these drinks, and he'll be like, "Oh well, sorry, 1 second."
Yeah. That's him walking into the back.
yeah, there you go. Fuck. Sorry, I'm looking for the price thing.
go
This
find
book is
the
fucking
dogs.
huge. Please, book, give me the information I need.
What are we drinking, by the way? Fenris is like sniffing it.
That is true. It is it is wine, but the kind of label on it is sort of worn with age, and it doesn't you're not quite sure what it says, but you can go ahead and make a perception check to try to figure it out.
Oh, okay. 16 plus 4, 30.
Lovely.
Also, another DM to you, Carson.
As you kind of squint at the label, you can sort of half make it out, knowing Sylvan, but it's a little hard to tell. You think it says fire something wine, but you're not quite sure.
Fenris like kind of like he takes an almost like a dainty sip of it for a second, and then he literally just knocks it the fuck back.
Oh yeah. It's definitely kind of has a warm flavor. Sort of stings a little bit as it's going down your throat, but otherwise it's very nice.
Archie slides her glass over to Fenris.
He knocks it back immediately. Thanks.
Carl has already tossed his drink back. He drank the whole fucking thing.
Nora's taking small sips because he himself is small, and an entire drink will probably make him tipsy.
But once he comes back, he'll kind of have in tow four of these sled dogs. They kind of look like huskies. Some of them are like more brown, some of them like kind of darker blacks. But they're all relatively well tamed, but each of them are still kind of goofy, sort of stumbling around.
Nora kind of like puts his hand over like to them because I imagine he recognizes.
Yeah. You've definitely interacted with these dogs before, and they're very excited to see you. Yeah.
Are they saying anything?
Not for the most part. Once they see Noro, they don't know his name, but they're just kind of like excitedly screaming like friend, it's him, as they're all kind of shuffling around his feet. Your friend who's this half elf man will kind of mention well the standard price is about 50 gold to rent out each, but I've known you for a while. Yeah, how does 30 gold each sound? Each of these with these 4 dogs, you should be able to carry me more or less all 5 of you folk.
Khan, you're my friend. Why would I try and haggle with you? I'll take the full price. It's fine.
He'll kind of shrug, but he'll be like, I insist. It's really no big deal at all. There isn't much travel going around here, and business has been great. So it's totally fine. You can take them for the price I listed.
Noro nods. He's like, if you insist. He sort of palms 30 gold into his glove and hands it over.
Lovely. He'll
Wait, is it just 30 gold, or is it 30 gold per dog? That's what I thought it was.
It's 30 gold per dog.
Yeah. Oh wait, so 30 gold per dog.
We can each pay for our own, right?
Mm-hmm. Also, I totally forgot to mention, but Oris did show up at the inn at night and was able to pay you guys.
Okay.
He had Trex in tow and was sort of like hobbling behind him.
Wait, so I meant.
Oh yeah, wait. How much did that add?
So you got 50 from Dodok, and then you got you got the gem worth 50, from Dodok, and then you got 50 gold each from Oris.
So I'm at 156 now. Okay. So I can pay for 2 of the dogs.
Yeah, Fenris will pay for his.
Gwyn will also pay
It's a
for
good thing we've got Carl here, isn't it?
Nora kind of squints for a bit and he raises his eyebrows, like having that realization. He's like, "Oh, I guess you're right. That could be useful."
I'll be a dog.
I did mention it to Carl. I did mention it when I had the idea, like he did say it to Carl before.
Carl is down to fucking pull the sled.
I'm just gonna like give Carl bardic inspiration to be used whenever he needs it today.
Yay!
This
preemptive bardic inspiration.
This man will kind of like look at this, like, as you guys are kind of implying that, and just sort of shrug his hands, like, be putting me out of business with that. As he sort of
Well, it's not like we're only gonna use Carl, but like, the extra muscle.
People start getting creative ideas, putting this.
It's not like we need to get like 5 more dogs to fucking pull Carl as well.
Although Noro, kind of as you're handing over to your good friend Conwill Fernwoods, you'll sort of pause for a moment as you think back for a second. You sort of remember something. Go ahead and make a history check for me real quick.
Gotcha. That is a 9. Not a very good roll.
As you're kind of thinking, you're sort of remembering something back at the cabin. Initially, you remember reading in the notebook that this man had, and the name on the front felt familiar at the time, but you couldn't quite put your finger on it. But as you're thinking about it now, you remember that the name on the notebook was Kadan Fernwoods. Shares the same last name with this man. You know this man well because he's your neighbor. But you never ask too much about his family, and you don't quite know if he has any other family. But whoever was living in that cabin shared the same last name as this man.
Noro kind of squints for a little bit as he's holding the coin in his hand. He's like, "Hey, Khan, I know I don't tell you much about my life, but I'm curious. Do you have a brother?"
And he'll sort of perk up for a moment and say like, "Oh, yeah, my brother Kadan. He actually just came into town just a couple weeks ago. Well, actually, I suppose it probably was more than a couple weeks ago. Maybe a few months by now. And he'll kind of continue to scratch it, to sort of like stroke his chin for a moment. But yeah, why do you ask?"
Noro kind of falters a little bit. Khan, I'm sorry to say, you see, when I was out and I stumbled upon a crashed cart close by, I discovered that there was a Yeti attack, and I went to investigate. I ended up finding these fine people here, but when we took shelter for the night, we came across a cabin a little bit far out. Did your brother live somewhere close to what was the
It was a little south of Bryn Shander, kind of in a big tundra nearby.
Did your brother live in a cabin just south of Bryn Shander?
He'll sort of perk up for a moment and be like, yeah, as a matter of fact, he did. He had an old hunting cabin out there. He would track caribou. But a few months ago, he came back here to Lonelywood and mentioned how just all the trackings and everything was different. He was sort of rambling. He seemed a little scared about something, but he wasn't very forthright about it. But he just mentioned that the hunting wasn't good enough, so he returned home.
Fenders would like to take out that little box that he has that belonged to his brother and kind of like put it on the table gently and go, "Is this significant in any way?"
He'll sort of look at it like very surprised and sort of like eyes wide open, and be like, "Oh, wow! Wait, did you get that? Did you get that from the cabin? That was given to us by our
cabin
mother."
that had a gigantic hole torn into it.
A gigantic hole. You didn't mention anything about that. Well, thank you for
in the
bringing
bedroom.
this.
I think it was.
That's no good. Well, I appreciate you bring this here. I'll make sure to.
Do we have the journal?
You don't have the journal. I don't think.
Kept it on me.
Did you keep it? Okay, yeah. Then yeah, you do.
Noro kind of like reaches into one of his 3 fucking bags. Kind of like you hear like a lot of clinking and like shuffling, and he like pulls out the book and sets it onto the counter.
As well, I will say one thing. As you're reaching to this bag, it was you put it in the same bag that you found it in the kind of shit house. That sort of like well intact golden leather satchel. As you're reaching inside of it, you don't seem to find the book.
Noro squints. He kind of searches through that bag and he kind of like goes
Go ahead and
through
make a perception check.
Perception check. Okay.
Fenris also just takes his bow and he puts it down and he said, "He left this as well."
That's a nat 1.
Lovely. You're searching through your bags like through all of them, and the book seems to be gone. Maybe you misplaced it. You're not quite sure. But as Fenris also puts down the bow, Conwell is very very thankful for retrieving these things that were kind of just left behind. Maybe Kadan didn't have enough space with what he was traveling to grab it, but he mentions well you can give these back to him yourself. I think he's out at the Deep Iceberg right now. He'll look to the others. It's a tavern we have here in town.
I have a feeling you should hang on to the family heirloom. And he pushes the box towards him and he says, "I'm keeping the bow, though."
Sort of give you a little bit of a puzzled look at that last bit. He was like, "Oh, that's no problem. I'm sure he'll be back here later tonight." And he'll sort of pick up the box and place
Noro
it back on the table.
Sets his hand on the table, and kind of leans in. It's like, "Con, I'm pretty sure your brother is dead."
No, so he was in that cabin a while ago, but he did return to
Lonelywood.
No, like when you guys got to there, it was
okay.
abandoned, but it was because a few months prior he had left and gone back to Lonelywood.
Oh, okay.
So he is in Lonelywood right now and he's live. Yeah,
okay,
no
so I
worries.
never said anything. He's like, well,
Is this guy a full-on elf or just a half-elf,
He's a half elf.
by the way?
half elf, like
Okay.
Noro, yeah. He's just like, well, certainly I believe his cabin may have been. Well, wait, was it like attacked? He's just like, or
From what you guys saw, it seemed like most of the damage to it was
hell.
from age. You guys did do a perception check on that window that was cracked open, and it did reveal that it was just the weather that broke in the window.
it's just like, well, the cabin was trashed by the time we had to rest on the inside. Looks like the wind broke in, a deer fell through the window.
Oh, jeez. he'll kind of reel back. He was like, "Well, I thank you for bringing back the stuff," and he'll kind of hand over the leads for the dogs. And he kind of says, "Oh wait," and he'll sort of go into the back and hand you a small bag of kind of like food for the dogs, just to take care of them for a couple days. But he reminds you that otherwise you'll have to still give them rations as well, and make sure to give them plenty of breaks and rest during travel.
I see.
He says you can return them at
No,
any time or hold on to them for as long as you need.
Noro nods.
As much as I
Thank
would-
you.
Oh. I go on.
No, that was it.
Lovely.
Oh, I thought Carson was going to say something.
No, yeah.
I was just going to say, well, as much as I'd love to play detective with the cabin, I think we have more pressing concerns for now.
Noro
We'll
nods.
return the dog.
Yeah. We'll be back. Don't worry.
He'll
Noro
kind
kinda,
of
like-
nod and wave you off.
Thank you for the wine.
Yes, of course. And stop by any time. I'm happy to chat. And he'll kind of wave you off and sort of say like, I'm sure those dogs will be plenty to carry your sled that you have.
Yeah, they're just there. So,
Lovely.
Noro kind of like picks up his stuff and yeah. Wait, what? What did you say?
I said no.
They cut out again.
You could
Noro Trap House.
Yeah.
Noro trap style.
It's fucking gone.
Should I grab the images that I sent you too?
Sure. Yeah. You can go ahead and send them into in-game info.
It's not John art, unfortunately, but yeah, it does. I do have images of the house.
It's a pretty simple cabin.
Yeah. Copy the image. I'm sure a couple of you guys will recognize what it looks like.
No. It's gonna be a Skyrim house. Yep. Did you live like this?
Damn, bitch.
This guy really lives in the fucking shack they put in fucking the Solitude Marshes for the Dark Brotherhood quest line.
Damn. Yeah.
But it doesn't look like that on the inside.
Yeah. Describe
Does
what
it have the fucking blood stain?
No, it doesn't have the fucking blood stain.
Describe yeah, you
Noro
can
kind
go
of
ahead and
like-
describe
yeah.
what everything looks like.
All right, so small image. Here we go. So Noro kind of like, as he walks up to the house, he kind of like he reaches into his sleeve, pulls out a key, just kind of unlocks it, and pushes it on the inside. And on the inside, it's, despite how ramshackle the outside looks, the inside is very, very cozy. There's a fireplace in the middle that has sort of like, that has a kind of, it's dormant because, you know, obviously nobody's been there for a while. And the house itself feels cold, very, very cozy since this.
Oh damn! This guy's living in the fucking Mojave.
Yeah.
That was the wrong image. Hold on, shit. I had saved the wrong thing. Why did I have that saved?
This guy's sending a fucking Fallout New Vegas screenshot.
Wrong game, fool.
I said the
I mean, I
fucking wrong image.
think it's kind of cozy, dude.
It's closer. Hold on, sorry.
Yeah, for new.
I
for new
meant to
Vegas
send this
comedy.
image. There you go. So it's bigger on the inside. It's scarier somehow. Whatever. Anyway, so there are obviously like a couple of like caribou horn chandeliers sort of hanging above that are, you know, like well lit on the inside. There are, lining the walls, there are various pelts of varying size. You know, there's some rabbit pelts, there's some bear pelts, and like the house is fairly well furnished, meaning, and it's not like well furnished in the sense that, like, you know, like it doesn't look like it's
Worn
like
down
was
or
purchased
anything.
with sort of minor stuff. Like these are good rugs. The woodwork on like the shelves is very well made and everything. And towards the end of the shack, there is a very well crafted spear sort of sitting on a mantle with a couple of candles sitting around it. Noro kind of like sort of drags a match across a striker and tosses it into the fire in the middle. Kind of walks around, kind of looking for stuff along the floor, just sort of gathering, sort of setting his bags down and kind of taking everything in, because you know it's been a while since he's been there.
The trap house.
So,
As you guys like, you know, take a minute and just kind of a rest. It's been a long few days. You've had time in different taverns or anything, but it's certainly a different feeling being in a home rather than a small inn room. And after a small while of sitting around, you
MJ
know.
just left.
Oh no.
Oh, never mind. I'm just still here. I heard somebody leave, and I thought it was MJ.
Yeah,
No,
I
it's
heard
Seb.
Oh, Seb's dead.
Yeah, wait, no.
Seb,
Fenris dies
Seb.
IRL, just passes out.
he's
I'm
back.
just kidding.
I accidentally my fucking Ethernet out. What just happened?
No.
Not much. We went inside Noro's house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and after resting for a
Noro's
little
kind
while,
of. Oops, sorry.
no, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, he just kind of sat down. That's
Lovely.
basically what I was saying.
After a little while of resting, you heard a knock at the door.
Noro kind of lifts his head up, like barely anybody knocks at his door. It's like, that's odd. He like stands up and kind of walks over to it. He doesn't open it. He's like, "Who is it?"
You'll hear kind of a small weak sort of voice say, "Hello, is Noro in there?"
Noro kind of raises his eyebrows a little bit.
You'll
It's
recognize this voice to be the town speaker, Nimsy Huddle.
What?
Miss Huddle, is that you? He opens the door to her.
Yeah, as you open the door, you'll all see a small halfling woman, very very old, you know, kind of holding a cane that kind of has different little carvings of it of different animals, and she'll like as you open the door, her eyes will kind of light up and sort of say like, "Oh, it's good to see you," and she'll sort of, you know, going for a hug, kind of at your like leg level pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Nora kind of like pats her back a little bit. He's like, "It's nice to see you, Miss Huddle, but you typically don't make house visits to this side of town."
That is true. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't important. And she'll kind of like look up at the rest of the folks in the room. Quite a gathering you have in here. Usually you don't have too many people over, so it's nice to see you getting out and interacting with more people.
Fenris raises his eyebrow at this woman.
she'll kind of hovel in more, sort of just letting herself in. She'll say, "Well, I heard from some folks in town that they did see you come back, and I'm glad to hear you're back from your hunting trip. But we've run into a little bit of a problem while you were gone. You see, she'll kind of like look down for a moment, but still perk back up, sort of with her liveliness she usually carries about her. Well, we've had some trouble with a wild moose in the area. It seems to be hunting down and stalking different hunters. Which I know sounds insane, but we've had multiple casualties. We've had multiple people go out into the woods and never return, and sightings of a bloody white moose. Real scary stuff, but it's definitely impacting our food supplies that we have here in town, and I know you, and she'll kind of look over to the spear and at the back of the room and sort of stay silent for a moment. I know you have a history with hunting, and I know you bring in some of the most food and pelt here to our town, and I wanted to ask if you were able to help finally go and take out this beast that's been terrorizing us.
He kind of grips his spear a little bit, and he's like, "What do the injuries look like?"
Well, she'll think about it for a moment. It's a little hard to speak of, but most of them were fairly terribly gorged. It seems like the moose had been trampling over them and charging them with its antlers.
Has anyone survived an encounter with this moose?
Yes, there have been multiple people who've come back. They went out in larger groups and came back either just in ones or twos, and they just tell awful stories of this moose coming out from almost nowhere and attacking them, and being able to track them and follow them for a long time, and it's really scary stuff. But we need to take care of this issue before it gets out of hand.
Noro kind of like puts a hand to his chin. Can I make a history check real quick to see if there's, like, anything he could recognize
Sure.
that's different from usual moose patterns?
Yeah, go
Or
ahead.
if he knows anything about it. Or is it a history or survival check?
You can do either, whichever you'd like.
Gotcha.
Oh, nature. Yeah, that's a good point. Either nature or history.
Oh. Either way, nat 20.
God damn. All right. Well, yeah. So you definitely no, there certainly are moose in the area. Not too many, but kind of a decent bit more than most of Icewind Dale. You do know that there are kind of a specific type of moose in this area that are completely white. It helps them blend kind of better in with the snow and the tundra. But you definitely know moose are not aggressive like this. They'll stay on their ground if they're surrounded by people, and when they're scared, they'll attack back. But certainly none of them will go out hunting for different like hunters and stuff. This is definitely a very strange behavior for a moose to be having.
Noro just kind of narrows his eyes like, they say it was a moose. Are you sure they saw the beast in full?
Well, I mean, I suppose they were scared. They could have misseen it, but I mean, considering they watched it gore their friends, and these are hunters like yourself. I can't imagine they would mistake it for anything else.
Noro nods. He's like, "That's fair. Okay, I'll take care of it."
Good. I appreciate it. And she'll kind of come with a big smile and another kind of like clasping your hands, like, I'll make sure to bake you some cookies and make sure you're well fed for a little while. I'll do my best, and thank you for offering to help out. I wouldn't come to you with this if it wasn't important.
This town is my
Before
home.
you
I'd do
leave.
anything for them.
Mm-hmm. She'll turn her attention to Fenris. Yes.
You don't happen to know anything about a human wizard, Meltheron?
She'll kind of have like a distant gaze for a moment and think, well, I haven't heard that name in a very, very long time. What interest do you have in this?
He had something that belonged to my master, and I have been bid to retrieve it.
Interesting. Well, but I will say I haven't seen him in a very long time. Do you know what happened to him?
Happened to him? I was just sent to find him. Last I heard, he was in the sea of moving ice.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure where you got that information because he's been dead for a very long time.
How long is a very long time?
I mean, I heard stories from my mother's, and she kind of chuckles a little bit, and that was, maybe when they were children, maybe 70 years ago. It's been quite a long time, but even from them, it was still almost a fairy tale of the great wizard of the north who fell from the sky, and he would go around helping people, but I mean, stories say that was, who knows how long ago. They all seem to account that he's been dead for a long time. He hasn't been seen in the Dale for even longer.
100 years, 500, 1,000.
She'll kind of think for a moment. Let me do something. I don't quite recall. I mean, even when I was a kid, it was a fairy tale. I mean, I don't really even know how true it is, but it's maybe a few hundred years. I don't really have a good grasp on these kind of things.
Just out of curiosity, when you said earlier, I haven't seen him for a while as this character, was that?
She hasn't heard of this name for a long time. I mean to say.
Okay. Yeah, no, I was just making sure, because if it was a thing in character, then I was gonna be like you said earlier.
I also did put Carl Pog in the arts, by the way.
Carl Pog.
Thank you for the information, regardless.
Yes, of course, sweetie. I hope you find what you're looking for. She'll kind of turn back to Noro and sort of wave you all off as she kind of begins to hobble out the door. She'll kind of turn back and say, be careful with that moose. There's certainly a lot more dangerous than anything normal. It's weird times we live in. And she kind of continues out the door.
And it's just kind of knowing any associate of my king, kind of mumbling to himself, and then he has a bad feeling about dead and wizard.
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
Wait.
Great Wizard of the North, eh?
Certainly no story I've ever heard of.
Well,
kind of sets his spear down and kind of walks over to the shrap, the kind of spear at the end of the room, and just kind of hesitantly grabs onto it, picks it up.
Oh yeah.
Are we killing the moose, or are we going to Kerkonic?
Noro puts the spear over his shoulder and says, I made the pact with my brother to protect this village, and if it's bad enough that she came to my house, well, I can't ignore it.
Carl will
Let's kill the fucking thing.
Carl will fucking dog.
Noro grins to
Noro
himself.
Pog.
He's just like, it's been a long time since I've been on a hunt.
It's been a few months. Fenris is at Noro's words, Fenris does start grinning.
We can go.
Yeah. So if you guys are going to go search for this moose, let me double check. You will have to.
Could we have counted this just as a short rest so I can get my warlock?
Yeah. You guys took a minute and we're chilling out.
And also, while they were chilling out,
and had some alcohol.
Noro, while he was there, kind of palms the mind crystal in his hand and sort of begins to attune to it a little bit.
So
he sticks it into, like, he kind of moves the gemstone out of the spear that he has, and kind of like pushes it into the spear itself.
Lovely. John, go ahead and hop into the other call with me real quick. I got something we gotta do real quick. Don't worry, it's all good. Yeah, no, don't even worry about it. So,
What
as you
the fuck are you doing?
So the crystal has a little funny, just a funny little thing about it. It's unfortunately it is a cursed object.
God damn it.
While whenever you attune to it, you will be affected by a form of indefinite madness. You'll roll a D100 for me and determine what it is. Once we get it, we can kind of figure out how you incorporate that into your character. If you unattune from the object, it goes away.
Hold on 1 second. Somebody's knocking at my door.
No worries.
Sorry.
No worries at all.
Apparently.
But yeah, it's an indefinite madness. But if you unattune from this crystal, which you can also do at a short rest or a long rest, the madness goes away. It's only as long as you're attuned to it. So you can use the powers like the teleportation powers as normal, but you will also be afflicted by this madness while you're doing it. So you can go ahead and roll a D100, and we can figure out what it is.
That is a 91.
91.
How bad is it?
What
am I dealing with?
Here, I will send you just a small quote that is said. I've discovered that I really like killing people. So as long as you're attuned to this crystal, a sort of madness overtakes you that you sort of feel that bloodlust for people. Not necessarily anything that would convince you outside of your moral standing to go out and murder somebody, but now you definitely find you enjoy
really
killing things. Like you actively take pleasure in it, where before it was less so.
It was more of a means to an end.
Yeah. Before you were hunting to survive, and now like like when you kill something, you really like it. You as Noro, you'd be able to tell, you'd recognize that this is definitely outside your nature. Like this is weird. Like that doesn't seem right. But
and
once
also being
we're
psychically attuned, he'd probably be able to tell.
Yeah, you can tell that there's something weird with this crystal, and it definitely makes you feel different. But yeah. Cool. So we can go ahead and hop back in. But yeah, feel free to RP with that however you would like. But yeah, just keep in mind that.
Well, I think, considering the fact that Noro had like that little grin on his face from being able to hunt something again.
Yeah, no, I feel it's fitting. No, yeah. Cool, interesting. Yeah, so we'll see if anybody else picks up on it. I'm curious to see if they'll be able to tell that's out of character or not. But we'll see. Yeah. So
gotcha.
Back to normal call. Bye bye.
Roll 20.
Hey guys.
Come on.
Okay.
Hey
Mind
guys.
player.
Hey guys.
Noro kind of like flips his spear a little bit and kind of like grips it. He's like, "Let's go kill something."
So, you guys, if you are to set
Fenris
up,
is sold in like mock offense, and he says, "He stole our line, love."
Right now I'd say
Noro,
it's yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just kind of like walking out. He's like leading the dogs.
That is true. Yeah, you if you guys are going out to hunt this thing, you can either take the dogs with you or leave them behind. They're definitely sled dogs. They're not necessarily like attack dogs or anything, but
It's more just to get to the area that
Yeah.
they're supposed to be.
Fenris,
What do you guys think?
Fenris turns to the dog, and he says, "You know what a moose is?"
Yes, the big dog, right?
Big dog.
No, it's got horns. It's like a deer, but much bigger.
What's a deer?
Laura has that fucking bag that has the deer that's standing, right?
Yes.
Noro kind of like pulls out the knife
I'll
and shows
point
the
towards it.
deer. Yeah.
Interesting. You're pulling out the little figurine of the deer, right?
Yeah, the figurine of the deer.
Yeah.
The dog will look like, will kind of like, you know, cock its head and be like, it's a weird looking dog.
Noro
Dog can
just
speak
kind
to
of.
animals too, right?
I don't know. Does he have
He
to speak with
speaks
animals?
beast.
That is a thing, yeah. So that was something I meant to fucking talk about because it just says you speak beast, but that's like not like I don't know what the fuck that is.
I don't know what that
so
means.
I'm
He speaks bear.
I can
Do you know how to
say
track things?
the
Yeah.
dog will again cock its head and be like, no, I just pull things really good.
Might as well leave.
Let them get ripped to pieces.
Noro nods like, that's right. These are usually just for transport. We don't always take dogs unless they're specifically trained.
Yeah, they're
Fenris
certainly not
gives like a
hounds.
little smirk and pats the dog on the head, and he says, "He'll bring you back some bloodhound."
Kind of look nervously. Oh, okay.
Dog. Okay.
They're a lot tamer than the hounds I'm used to.
Yeah, these are some dopey fucking like huskies, pretty much. Definitely not like hunting dogs by any means, just sled dogs.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely just hunting dogs that Fenris is familiar
Yeah, man.
with.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Noro kind of like thinks for a little bit, and he glances over at Carl, and then back to his sled, and then back at Carl, and then back to his sled.
Carl will pick up on this. This is the first time he's ever picked up on any sort of cue, and he's like, "Yeah, I can do it."
Noro smiles. He's like, "Good man."
Carl is so happy.
If you guys, so as of now, you know that this moose is stalking in the woods nearby. You won't necessarily need the sled for traversing in the woods, but otherwise, like overland, quote unquote overland travel, you know, like in the tundra, you can use the sled. But if you are going to be tracking this moose, what you'll be doing is making a handful of rolls to try to pick up on the moose tracks, and then like following it. So if you
All right, so I'll go
So
ahead.
don't forget, just for reference, by the way, Finn, I did give you bardic inspiration.
Yay! Is this for whenever I need it, or just for?
Yeah, you can activate it whenever.
Yay!
Yeah. So.
Oh, does it last 10 minutes? Oh, I think it. When did I give it to you? I gave it to you like.
2 minutes ago.
Yeah, I gave it. I actually did it a second ago.
I didn't even think you've done it yet, actually.
Ha ha ha. Yeah, I didn't blow on my little flute, so it didn't count. I didn't.
Well, you can put it in the. You can
Or
put it
they
in
talk to the husky dude. Okay, I guess. However long
It was
it's been
definitely more than
in
10
DM
minutes
time.
ago.
I think if we're generous, it was like 6 minutes ago. But
Sure.
yeah.
Totally.
If you guys
Barely matters, it's whatever.
If you guys are setting out, you guys can do either a group survival check to try to pick up on the moose tracks, or any number of you can kind of lead the group and try to find it.
Well, I imagine.
Group check.
Group check.
Do I
I'll
get
check,
any sort of
check.
advantage because Nora's familiar with the area around here?
You should have proficiency in survival. You've hunted moose before, but not necessarily like in a specialty or anyway. But with that advantage,
Just for
you
knowing
should
the
make up
area,
for
like
it.
being from here.
The advantage I'll give it that is that you'll be able to find it quicker, but not necessarily affect the roll.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay. I got a 16.
25.
25.
Jeez. Okay.
Fenris unsheathes the sword and does say, "It's time for a hunt, love."
Yeah, the sword like kind of like shivers almost, like just in anticipation, very getting hyped, getting excited.
I gotta get hunting music on. Hold on. Get some
The
fucking...
only thing they fear is you starts playing.
A fucking Bloodborne soundtrack.
Yeah. So with
let me find that.
with Noro at the lead, he's kind of like, you know, he's walking through these woods with kind of like almost hurried, like or not hurried, but with a lot more speed and depth than most of you might be able to. But he picks up a set of moose tracks within like a half an hour. Right now, I'd say maybe it's around noon. You spent the morning traveling here, and now as you're following these moose tracks, and more time passes. Sorry, 1 second. So yeah, go ahead. Yeah, as you're following these tracks, Noro, go ahead and roll a d20 for me real quick.
On it. That's a 4.
A 4.
4 plus. Is it anything, or is it just like a check?
It's just an encounter roll for a d20.
Got it. That's a 4.
As you roll a 4, everyone make a perception check.
Got it.
Oh yeah.
Thank God, that's better.
That's a 14 for me.
Lovely.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Gwyn, you kind of, both Gwyn and Fenris. We'll kind of notice.
Carl.
And Carl. Yeah, again, Carl. All out of the corner of your eye, a very like far like to your side, kind of through the wilderness. You sort of feel you sense there's a silhouette kind of hiding behind a tree, as you notice it in the corner of your eye, it dips out of sight.
Start marching towards it.
You start marching towards it. Okay.
Nero follows up.
Yeah.
Carl thinks nothing of it, but he does notice you moving, so he follows at a speedy pace.
As you continue going towards it, you don't see any more movement in the area, and once you reach the tree, there's nothing on the ground except some tracks. Go ahead and make a survival check.
Got it.
That's a natural 1.
Lovely. You're really not sure what made these tracks, and they
17.
go 17.
Wait, 17 plus 6.
Lovely, yeah. As Noro, you're very adept at reading tracks, and you can see from these tracks, you recognize them, but it's very strange. You see that they're deer tracks, very distinctly different than caribou tracks, which are the only things native around here. There aren't any deer native to this region. But the strangest part about them is that their movements from each other, it's as if it was only standing on 2 of them. It's only standing on its hind legs as it's moved, and as you follow it, even like 10 feet ahead, the tracks start to be strange and kind of not rhythmic. They take random steps to the side and forward, and even like large gaps of like 5 to like 6-7 feet between each step until they entirely disappear.
It's time to use the compass. He says this he says this aloud, turning to Gwyn.
I will hold the compass in my hand.
Yeah, do we all notice these tracks?
Yeah, you can see the tracks. I think Noro is the Noro discovers that it's a
Nora points it
deer.
out.
Deer tracks, but yeah, you can all see how they like the footsteps get very strange and weird and far apart until entirely disappearing.
I can't help but recall a deer on 2 legs.
Archie will tense up a little bit.
Carl will
Gwen's
turn to
like,
Fenris.
Do I notice that?
Perception check?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
That's 18 plus 4, 22.
you notice it.
Alright. you definitely notice Archie tensing up a little bit as she like clenches her notebook a little harder.
Raises his eyebrow. Archie. Know something, do we?
more of a lack of knowledge in this situation. It's off-putting for me.
Well, it was just watching us from behind a tree, so I'm rather off-put as well.
You're,
Okay.
if
We
That's
didn't
sorry.
pull out the compass yet.
I was. I'm
No,
going
I
to.
assume that we're just saying this as Gwyn is pulling it out.
let me see. As you as you pull out the compass, you know you're now tuned to this compass, and you feel still a strong connection between you two. You kind of you don't even need to speak aloud and to ask it to cast the spell, and as it does, you see the needle compass start like spinning around quicker and quicker and quicker as it does. It blurs together and forms kind of like a circle of just kind of like glowing sort of like a red and gold light as they kind of all mix together. But the red starts pulling in one direction and the gold starts forming around it, and the red sort of points an arrow directly kind of ahead of you, Gwyn. But as it does for a moment, then all of a sudden the arrow starts like kind of misforming, and then it points to the left and then the right, and then it all scrambles back together into that kind of golden red light as the arrow spins away. It seems as if it detected it for a moment, but then out of nowhere it seems to have disappeared.
I would like to invoke the rune on my rapier just in case.
Lovely. Yeah, you kind of
Nora,
we made a
I'd like
mistake
to have Nora
picking out
like if Gwyn is like invoking that rune, I'd like to see if Noro can kind of read what's written on it.
Yeah, you would be able
Wait,
to read
yeah,
it.
that's true. I don't even know what invoking the rune would look like, really.
Oh no, go! It was riffing.
Like if it's a visible thing,
I
then
do want to. Fuck, do I want to use a spell slot on detect magic? Do I?
I mean, hold on, let me
No,
see.
you
Do I
don't.
detect?
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it.
I don't have it prepared. Tragic.
I have
Nice
detect
one,
thoughts,
guys.
but I don't think that'll help me.
I will hit it
Gone
with my
by
axe.
now.
I think in this case, invoking the rune would be kind of subconscious, and she just kind of has one hand on the hilt ready to draw it.
Mm-hmm.
The runes will just start glowing a bit.
Lovely.
Do I if I look at the runes, do I like notice anything? Seeing as they're like now suddenly glowing, and I didn't see them earlier.
Yeah, you'd be able to see them glowing.
I don't recognize them.
No, you do not.
Do I recognize?
Nora does, yeah. Nora's
Gwen,
able
what
to
are
read.
What
are
Oh.
those ruins on your weapon and in your shield for? I noticed you were inscribing them last night, but I didn't think to ask then.
She looks like startled for a bit, like she forgot about them, and will look down and just say, I've been experiencing some new symptoms lately.
Symptoms.
I see. Well,
Of
we'll...
these, and she'll kind of wave the tentacles.
Okay.
I keep forgetting that you have those.
Thank you for telling me then. We'll pay more attention to it later once we're out of this godforsaken forest.
I'll be sure to let you know if anything new happens.
Nora would be able
Wonderful.
to make out in this text of this language that he knows the word, the rune along the blade would write out the word cloud, and the one against the shield would write out the word frost.
Other way around.
Frost would be on the sword and cloud would be on the shield.
I guess it doesn't really matter. Yeah.
No, it's
He's like,
important.
Noro looks up. He's like, Gwyn, are you able to read what's on your shield and sword?
She'll look at it again. Yes, oddly.
It's interesting. Noro stands up and he's just like, well, we're hunting right now. We can deal with that later.
I agree. Let's kill it.
You guys can kind of backtrack a little bit from this this diversion with this funny little deer, and get back onto those moose tracks. As you are, this kind of has another hour has passed. It's maybe like I'd say like 2 p.m. in the afternoon. You can go ahead. Does somebody else want to roll the encounter roll?
I do.
I'll do. Oh, okay.
No, I haven't done one yet.
Yeah.
Please.
I'll go for it.
Hey,
Like session
Quinn.
40.
Roll it.
Quinn, please.
7.
4.
Lovely. Give me just one moment. I'm gonna turn on the light in my room because it's starting to get dark and hard to read. I'll be back in a second.
Wait, did you roll a 4 too?
No, I rolled a 7.
I rolled a 19.
Ah,
I mean, it's just an encounter die. It doesn't really matter.
I gotcha. I was just curious.
You come face to face with a T-Rex.
So
fucking
a lich comes out from behind a
instantly.
tree.
Note to self: don't invoke the runes if you're not in combat. I just wasted one.
No.
No.
That one only lasts 10 minutes. L.
Okay, I burned
Oh.
2 fucking spell slots identifying shit.
Yeah, that
I
was,
could have done that as a ritual. I'm fucking stupid.
Stupid! I'm dumb!
Yeah.
Okay, no wait, but we had a short rest at Noro house. Or
Yeah, but I
Fun
could have
house.
just... I regained 1 warlock spell slot. I could have cast it as a fucking ritual
it.
both times because we weren't fucking out anywhere. I forgot that I could do that.
Oh, right. Wait. Oh, no, never mind. I can only do that once every level.
Oh well.
I could have given you an arcane booster while we were short resting.
Oh, I
And
thought
that
that was
counts.
just like a thing that you had.
Yeah,
Since it is
it's
a short rest. I probably could just replace the spell.
Of course, and can I do
Oh
that in
wow.
retrospect?
I don't know. Can you give me spell slots? I don't think you can do that.
Oh well,
Well, no, I mean,
here's how it works, right? It's it's a feature that I gain at level. Wait, where is it? No, this isn't the right thing. Okay, yeah, at first level.
identifies
yeah.
a ritual.
So yeah, so during like during long rests, I can prepare arcane boosters, which are basically like booster shots, is how I'd flavor them, right? And so it takes 10 minutes to prepare a booster, and I can prepare half of my Medicus level rounded up, so 2, right? And then it takes 1 minute to administer each dose. And for each dose administered, you can regain an equal number of spell slots, equal to.
Do you not have
in
them
order-
anymore?
No, I do. They don't. I've reread this like 4 different
Oh.
times, and they.
I was about to say.
okay,
I
no,
mean,
they-
the Fenris could just ask for one then.
Okay, yeah, no,
Feasibly.
they
he would
expire
if
at the
he
end of
has a
my
spell
next
slot
long rest.
expended.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
just yeah, I'm like I failed my intelligence check there for a while.
Sure.
Also,
yeah.
also,
Yeah,
also, I am
it-
back.
Oh, hello.
Welcome.
I want
I'd
to.
like
Can
to
I
take
do-
the magic heroin.
Yeah, can I administer arcane
Just to
booster even though it's
restore,
supposed to be during
spell
a short
slot, yeah.
rest, and it'll take quite literally 2 minutes, assuming I need to give.
Yeah,
Fenris-
no, of course, yeah.
Okay, are you missing like a level 1 spell slot or a level 2
Level
spell
1 spell
slot?
slot.
Okay, I'll give you 1 booster then, and then you get your spell slot back.
Does
Sippy
it do
this.
anything?
Um,
Do I
Well, like,
feel anything from it, or is it just like
flavor-wise?
woo?
You're
it
fucking
you almost
wasted.
it's like a muddled sense of adrenaline almost. It feels a little invigorating, but like not like
Oh,
you like downed like 40 milligrams of caffeine or something. You feel
In-
like
Rue brings up an interesting point. Where are you administering it?
In your butt.
oh yeah, it would be like in your bicep.
Oh, my bicep.
Somebody has to
Left
roll
or
up their
right?
sleeves.
I don't know. What's your dominant hand?
Right.
Archie will ask whether you want it administered in your left or right arm.
He'll say the left, and then he'll pull up his left sleeve on his cloak and then kind of like peel away some of the dark chainmail. And
Kinda catches on to that he specified his left.
Yeah, on his skin you can see lots of like twining tattoos of thorny vines and like the occasional like plant rendered in brown, green, and gold. Seems to be going all the way up his arm.
Ooh, interesting. That's a very pleasant-looking tattoo you have, Fenris. As Archie jabs your arm.
Thank you. I got it for killing someone.
Oh, lovely, lovely. Well, this booster should help then with further killings. Lovely.
I love things that help me kill.
Some beads of sweat rolling down my face.
You guys, yeah, you're kind of continuing forward, and the sort of like as you walk, continuing this chatter. Another hour or so passes, and as you kind of are drawing forward, you're beginning to see kind of a structure in the distance that these moose tracks are leading to. Noro's still in the front, kind of dead set, looking at the ground, still making sure you're following the same tracks as you were before. You begin to find yourself kind of in a open clearing as you see kind of at the back of the clearing is kind of a hill, but it seems to have been carved into like a kind of a half circle. I'll make sure to send a map of it in a second. And in front of it,
Gotcha.
there are multiple kind of tall statues depicting kind of like elven figures in kind of a gazebo. There's a few different like little things out in this field, as well as like a hill that leads up with a coffin at the top. But as you guys begin to approach this, you all feel kind of a chill go down your spine. And out of the snow below you sort of apparates this tall spirit, this large apparition that has pointed ears. It looks almost like an elf, but it has a gaunt, hollow face. And as its kind of like ghostly blue figure kind of steps in front of you, it'll let out a large screech. And I want everybody to make a
Hold on a second.
Mm-hmm.
Banshees speak Sylvan, don't they?
Yeah,
let me
I
see.
speak Sylvan.
No,
Well,
they
no,
do
I
not speak Sylvan. No.
No. What? They're fucking fake.
Get pranked. LMAO.
Does it react in any way to me having my sword out?
No, as far as you can see right now, it's kind of floating maybe like 20 feet in front of you. It's floating into the sky, and it's going to scream. And I want everybody to make a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw. Got it.
I have proficiency in wisdom
Oh,
saving throws,
no.
don't I?
Uh-oh.
Where's my wisdom saving throws? What? Where the fuck? Did I not write it down somewhere? Sorry, I'm just...
No.
We're getting possessed, bro.
You guys are
Oh
fine.
no.
Oh no, you're not getting possessed.
Makes sense for Archie's current mental state, honestly.
These guys. I do. You said wisdom saving throw?
Wisdom, yeah.
Okay, so that
What the hell are my
is
rolls today, man?
plus 3,
You're stealing our luck.
19.
Lovely.
Yeah,
As,
so long as one of us passes the check.
as this
True.
as this figure kind of floats up in the air, sort of silhouetting in the moonlight, it lets out this horrible screech, and you feel kind of both Carl, Archie, and Gwyn all feel kind of just this terror strike them, and you will have the frightened effect for 1 minute. And as this thing is floating there, it'll sort of begin floating like towards you, And as the moonlight kind of dimly lights this field with all these strange kind of like old elven runes and structures, we will leave off there and pick up next week with the combat.
No.
No.
Get pranked!
Archie
Get
grabs onto
pranked!
Gwen's arm in fear.
Yeah.
Go back
Beast, you monster.
Being frightened is my
Oh,
least
God.
favorite
Damn
fucking
it.
effect to have.
Yeah,
You tell me I can only
frightened
use my
is-
distance to move away from him?
This guy didn't even have. This guy didn't even say the line. Fake DM. Fake DM.
Pranked.
Say the line.
No.
Dang it.
No.
No. No.
No.
It is worth mentioning. We kind of forgot about it. We do have a little guy.
You do have little guy, and I will be acting as him throughout this whole
You
I hope you
guy.
guys know Carl's first priority right now, because he's fucking scared off his ass, is to run away and keep him and his little guy safe.
Yeah, little guy was standing on his shoulder, and his arms kind of like flew up in the air as he like stumbled backward and like crawled behind your head.
Oh, my poor baby.
Fuck.
Incredibly lore-heavy session.
Actually, no, he didn't, bro. He
session.
sorry, I just rolled for his wisdom saving throw, and he nat 20'd. So bro is fucking fearless. Bro is standing there,
Bro.
unfazed.
I mean, okay,
Little guy.
he has proven to be fearless twice in a row now, and
He's
I think
incredibly
that
He's
curious.
not afraid of Noro. He's not afraid of.
He's a brave little boy. He's
Little-
fucking base.
Yeah, no, little guy, little boy, nah, little man.
Yeah!
This guy stands his ground.
Yeah.
Lovely, cool. Yeah, so
Did you guys enjoy the Noro trap house?
yeah,
did enjoy the narrative.
I'm so happy to get
It's
to
totally
get the
comfy, and
Noro
he walks
story.
into his ugly ass room. Yay!
I got to see Garuk.
Garuk. I love it.
I can't believe I like your
Nah,
little
just
fucking handshake punching each other in the face.
I do love that
Yeah.
little goodbye there.
Yeah, I wanted to let Carson just kind of like introduce the character, but I was very tempted to immediately, as Garuk opened his mouth to start speaking, have Fenris say, "Hey, fucking retard, what's up?"
Hey, hey, dipshit. I didn't quite know him enough, but I absolutely did imagine that he would come in with the "Hey, what's up, dipshit" kind of a thing, but I just resorted to Bud.
Hey, like, fuck you, idiot.
Good to know.
I'm surrounded by incompetence. Yeah, it sounds about right for you.
Damn. Yeah, Archie's ears perked up.
I imagine if fucking Noro, he's like, none. He's like,
The fuck's
what
going on
fuck?
with it?
I'm so pissed that he said that when Carl is one of like the only people that has not taken any damage since meeting you guys.
I mean, he's been on the road for a few months. He could have also been referring to that.
He's only
Yeah,
got a
that's
fucking
awesome.
splat in him.
Yeah, says I'm surrounded by incompetence, launching Eldritch Blast into the back of one of his allies.
How many things have I
Yeah,
killed?
literally.
How much damage have I done, Ryan? How many times has your fucking brain rot worked?
Wow,
Tell me.
someone's mad.
Okay, yeah,
No,
alright,
I'm
someone's not getting healed. Good luck. Good luck.
You get
You're
no
not
more
getting
stimmies. You get no more stimmies.
Yep, no more arcane
Stupid
booster. Good
cleric,
luck.
stupid healer, you haven't done any damage.
Literally, bro. Literally.
Damn.
I have
yeah.
damage spells just in case.
I don't know, man. I haven't taken any damage, so.
Actually, you took 1 damage from the goblin arrow at that one time.
1 point of
I don't know about you guys, but I haven't taken anything.
LMAO. Fucking
LMAO.
still has a giant wound scar across his chest.
Literally,
To be fair, that wasn't me.
That was a really
I literally
fucking
hadn't
weird session to DM. It was.
Yeah.
that was
imagine.
fun. That was really
Strange.
fun, though.
play, but
I know.
very fun.
Yeah, cool. Well, I'm glad that everything
did-
ripped
I-
well.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got Noro goes home, takes his brother's spear, and goes out to kill something.
Yeah. For anybody curious, it is a +1 spear. It's not a magical spear, but it's just +1.
Person, can I ask, did we
Oh, yes.
do any of the things you prepared for us?
Blinks one at a time. What? Huh? Oh yeah. So literally, I was kind of preparing. Well, I mean, technically, the only thing it ended up happening different, but the only thing that I prepared was the conversation with the Lonelywood, what's her face, Nimsy Huddle. And it was originally supposed to be in her house, and like a bunch of other stuff would have happened, but I basically prepared the whole encounter for you guys to be going into the woods and then doing all this stuff, and then like this entire like whole deal.
Yay, we did what we were supposed to.
You got there, guys. I'm not railroading
All right,
anybody.
guys,
Nora
we
said he
gotta do a
wanted
better
to do
job
it.
of derailing.
Yes.
Yeah, we gotta do a better job at derailing the session, guys.
Step up your game, bro. Derail that shit, bro. You know, you ain't doing your job. You ain't making my life hard enough.
Yeah, you
Wait,
know
so
what?
like,
I no longer want to save Carl.
Whoa, why?
Wow.
No, I am glad that I think yeah, no, I mean the whole thing with the dog sled and the neighbor, that was all totally riffed, made up, like we'll figure that all out. But I'm glad you guys do feel like you have more of a specific direction now than just kind of like wandering to get money. Interesting, cool, lovely.
I'm on that shit, man. I've been on my mission.
We gotta give
Oh,
Carl an
yeah, sure.
abortion.
I did want to ask though, for everyone in my Shroud campaign, is like what times work for everyone tomorrow?
Please, no later than midnight.
If
Yeah, no,
our-
don't worry, I got you, dude. I live in a sensible time zone like you. Don't worry.
if our
Yay.
if
What do you
our
mean sensible text? Actually, no,
if
that's fair.
Witchlight campaign tomorrow, because I mean I imagine we're still doing that, but I can't imagine it will run long if the Brits don't realize like, oh shit, this is way too late anyways. But like whenever that is done, you know, for any time pretty much.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that they agreed. I'm not entirely hopeful that the session will happen or be that long anyway. So we won't be starting later than midnight for the session 0 tomorrow.
Worst comes to worst, Finn, if I have to work with you on Zool one-on-one,
Yeah.
that works out pretty well.
I'm more than happy with that. I presume we need to talk anyway.
We need to talk.
Yeah, I have been writing stuff but I've just been I've been having to like figure some stuff out, like how to like write it out well before presenting it to you.
That's sweet. No, I'm ready whenever. I've actually, because I just fucking figured out that, what's it fucking called? Where's Icewind Dale in? I just found out that D&D has lore, and I've been taking notes on all the go.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
technically we're going off of the Forgotten Realms or Faerun lore. The name Faerun is like the name of
Yes.
the land. Forgotten Realms is like the setting or whatever. But Rue, myself, and Seb are kind of like we're doing our joint little thing. So it's like some stuff is slightly different, but for the most part, you know, Faerun lore is kind of how it is.
So awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to believe that all of our characters exist in the same cohesive universe.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah,
Yes,
literally.
that's exactly it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Strahd characters.
Yeah, no, that's it.
and
Yeah. Shroud and